All right, welcome to Long Beach City Hall. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's September 9th. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Zendejas.
Present.
Councilwoman Allen.
Present.
Councilmember Duggan.
Here.
Councilman Supernaw.
Here.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Present.
Councilwoman Sorrow.
Present.
Vice Mayor Uranga.
Presente.
Councilwoman Thrash Entuk.
Here.
Councilmember Rixodi.
Here.
Mayor Richardson.
I am here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. I'm going to ask Councilmember Supernaw to lead us in a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. If the audience will please join us in a short moment of silence. Thank you. Please rise if you're able. Place your hand over your heart, face the flag, and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Supernaw. Welcome to the Long Beach City Council meeting. It is budget adoption night. I want to thank all of you for coming out and joining us. We have a big agenda tonight, big agenda. The good news is there are no presentations, so we get to jump right into it tonight. That's right. That's a good thing, right? We'll take consent calendar without item 7. We also going to announce we're not going to hear item 15 tonight. We're going to withdraw that for more discussion with the Sister Cities group, and so so that won't be heard tonight. So the big item du jour is the budget. So let's start with consent calendar minus item 7. We need a motion and a second on consent, please. And I see 2 members of the public signed up to speak on consent. Kathleen Adams and Dr. Drew Jones, please come forward.
Hello, my name is Kathleen Adams. Thank you for listening to us today. I strongly support the Guaranteed Basic Income Program, and I greatly thank you very much for extending it. When I was 7 years old, my parents split, and we lived on zucchini like every summer, and this is a mental health crisis to eat zucchini every summer. So please help these people and make sure they get the Guaranteed Basic Income. It will help their mental health, and that ripples out to the rest of the community as well, and it will help the children. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Dr. Drew.
Good evening, Council. I rise to offer my support for this measure. It's important that our budget reflect our values, and in the city of Long Beach, that no family goes without, no children go without. And so with that, I ask for your support to continue this basic income program.
All right, thank you so much. All right, members, please cast your vote on consent minus item 17.
Minus item 7.
7. Oops.
Motion is carried.
All right, thank you. Let's hear item 7, please.
Report from Economic Development, recommendation to execute all documents necessary to amend a contract with California State University, Long Beach Research Foundation for providing research and evaluation of the Long Beach Pledge Guaranteed Income Pilot Program citywide.
All right, so let's just have a few words from staff. This is an extension of our agreement on the research element of guaranteed income. Tom, if you just talk a little bit about it briefly.
Yeah, sure. We do need to make a small change to the recommendation. I'll turn that over to Bill Martinez, our Economic Development Director.
Thank you, Tom. Courtney Chatterson with our Economic Development Opportunity will be giving an update.
Right. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. This is just to extend the contract with CSULB to align with their academic calendar and allow them to continue their research work on this project. We expect to have a preliminary report by the end of this fiscal year on the second cohort, but they're going to be continuing to combine the results from both cohorts that went through the program and give us a more robust report next year.
All right, thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any, we already took public comment, correct? Okay, all right. Members, please cast your vote on item 7.
Motion is carried.
Great, thank you. We'll now go to general public comment number 1. Let's tee that up. All right, we see 7 members of the public signed up to speak. When you hear your name, please come forward. First is Joseph Holguin, then Anthony Holmes, Deborah Anderson, Nicole Mounier, Karina Guerrero, Miet Tuzin Guerrero, and Kathleen Adams. Please come forward. And the first is Joseph. Is Joseph here? All right, Joseph, you're up.
Hi, my name is Joseph. I'm here to speak about the ongoing corruption and serious safety violations within the City Refuse Department. Issues that are being deliberately hidden from the public and even from fellow employees. They're individually currently operating commercial vehicles despite having DUIs on their license, even though in policy it states they're supposed to be terminated, just like our fellow employee Billy Claxton. With that being said, many drivers are not provided logbooks and even driving past the 11-hour mark, not doing their full reset, and still driving the next following day. Supervisors refuse to hire more people, and with that being said, it's just an ongoing situation. Why am I bringing this up now? Management is knowingly sweeping these issues under the rug. They're failing to enforce established procedures and safety protocols, allowing a culture of negligence and non-compliance and thrive in plain sight. What I really came here to talk about is how one could get promoted despite having a DUI on their license, even though it's a serious offense, and still tell a supervisor, that being Don, head of refuse, that it's okay to drive, even though he has a temporary license, which that being said, a temporary license only being from going point A to point B, from home to work, and not driving in a commercial vehicle. And with that being said, the city's being liable if he were to get in an accident now, since he has restrictions on his license. With that being said, supervisors are now not caring about the procedure and just care about maximizing, quote unquote, from what Bezos said. Pretty much it's just ongoing corruption inside the refuse department. No coordination, no nothing. And it pretty much just goes, even with the green waste program, it's kind of just, you can mix trash and organics. With that being said, it doesn't matter if it's an outlet, who cares? It's just, as long as nobody gets caught with it, I guess. I told this to supervisors, them not following procedures on accidents. They rather just say, kick it under the rug. I witnessed it multiple times, accidents happening in the refuse truck as I'm a helper in the helper seat, and they just hit a wall. Supervisor said, don't worry, I'll handle it. Doesn't follow procedure, no PD, no nothing. It just goes on with being said, it's cool, slap on the wrist, you're good. And with that, I still have incidents that happen at work, still on my license, even though the union fought for that. And even though, with that being said, I'm being directed to an assistant instead of being able to talk to Derek Law himself. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Next is Anthony Holmes.
Free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine. So what this young man just said, Joseph, another prime example of power over policy. So we have the level 4 sex offender that you guys still working in the city, working in the city. We have people with DUIs that work for the city, but you guys want to give me an unlawful reprimand for not attending a public works breakfast. Y'all got to make it make sense. And I wanted to speak on the proposal that Josh Hickman and Eric Lopez done last week about the merging of the refuse department. Is the merging going to stop the corruption, the discrimination against black employees, the corruption, again, everything that they keep and continue to cover up? That's what I want to know, Tom. And how could you follow policies How could you follow policies when it only benefits the supervisors and management? For example, what's his name? Josh Hickman. Before Josh Hickman was working in our department, his wife used to run out and tell him, did you give them money for dumping them illegal items that was inside the trash can? So you can't follow policies only when it benefits you. And I want to ask Josh Hickman if he's here tonight. I don't know if he's here. He's probably in the back of the chamber. Do your wife know you cover up stuff for Eric Lopez and the city attorney? I mean, I can go all day. I don't have nothing but time. And for us to keep bringing these issues to you, Rex, you supposed to be flying the ship. You the captain. You got to step it up. It just pisses me off. And Dawn Henderson, I hope she's here. We call her Candace Owens, by the way. That's who she acts like. For her to do another black woman like that by the name LaToya Sullivan, a personnel officer, is just disrespectful. But yet and still, she wants to use quotes from Maya Angelou of helping the people. Don't bring Maya Angelou's name up. That's all I got to say. You guys have a nice day. Free Palestine. Black Long Beach, stand up.
Thank you. Next is Deborah Anderson. Deborah Anderson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Deborah Anderson, and I am a small business owner. The name of my business is Artistic Celebration. Artistic Celebration has two separate, hi, Miss Mary. Artistic Celebration has two separate divisions, and one division is the division where we're providing the city with vending machines. And I thought it would be apropos to present it to the city because I am an educator at the city, a middle school educator, and my children were, they were educated in Long Beach, and I wanted to give back to this city. And so in my mind, I feel like this is an opportunity to give back to the city, and also it's a win-win opportunity that also the people who work in the federal building will be able to have a vending machine instead of walking all the way to 7-Eleven. It's very convenient. I am very professional, and when I say that the vending machines are quality, when I say that everything that's presented in the vending machine is professional, you don't have to worry about the vending machine breaking down. You don't have to worry about stale items in the vending machine, and you won't have to walk a mile just to have vending machine, just to have those resources. So that's when I have something for every one of you. The guy promised that he will pass out this for you. I don't know where he is, but I have provided for you a little bit of background of who I am. The other side of the business is it's called the Pugs Collection. It's a wardrobe collection that gives to the city. And when you scan the QR code, you'll see the mission in action. The shoes, the tote bag, the bucket hat, the shirts are all for the homeless people because I spend a lot of time downtown. So all of this is for the city. Yes, I will benefit, but the city will also benefit. I'm really plugged in with the homeless of this city. I don't have anything else to say unless you have some questions for me because this is a family-owned Christian business. I will be coming more to the meetings, and just being a better support, and I apologize that I haven't been a better support because Long Beach is my home, it's my family's home. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I think the young man said that he was going to provide each one of you. I don't know.
Sure. If you hand it to the clerk, we'll get copies.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We got it. Thank you very much. Nicole Mounier. And after Nicole is Karina.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Nicole Mounier. I am the owner of Shore Dogs, and we just opened our first brick and mortar downtown Long Beach on Atlantic. What I want to know right now from you is what actions is being taken by the city to control the unhoused population and all the crime that they have been committing. I have them trespassing on a daily. I'm calling 911 on a daily. The police response could be anywhere from 10 minutes to over an hour. We called 911 4 times this morning because there was a woman blocking our front door entrance. banging on our windows, and when my employee calls, she gets no response from the police, and my clients can't come in. They can't walk in and bring their dogs in. So this is really wreaking not just a havoc on my business, but the whole downtown area. I'm Long Beach born and raised, so I've seen downtown come and go, and this has got to be the worst that I've ever witnessed when it comes to the unhoused population and the drug epidemic that's going on right now. We have so many, they're like walking zombies. They defecate on our property every day. They just trash everything. So I wanted to know what is being done, and also about the police response time. The answer we keep getting is we don't have enough police. We don't have enough police. Okay, if you don't have enough police, then what are you gonna do? I have a suggestion. I don't know if you're gonna like it, but you could always bring in the National Guard. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with a solution. That's all. I'm just trying to come up with solutions here. You could boo it, but I'm talking about the safety of the citizens of the city. I'm not talking about anything else but our safety, because I'm chasing after these people myself, and I'm putting myself in
All right,
danger.
there's one more minute to go. Thank
Okay, so I'm sitting here defending my property when a lady comes up and grabs a piece of my property and takes off with it, and I'm having to chase her down 2 blocks down the street. And then when the police do come, they say they can't do anything about it. So this is where my frustration is coming from, because ultimately, we're gonna have to leave downtown. We're not gonna be able to thrive in this environment, and neither are the other businesses around here, and you know that businesses are leaving every single day here. So that's my question to you, is what actions are being taken to ensure our safety, the safety of the businesses, and the safety of our residents here? And thank you very much.
All right, thank you for the testimony. Next is Karina Guerrero.
Hello, my name is Karina Guerrero. I'm here with the help of the Filipino Migrant Center to talk about my son, Kaisan, who has a mental condition and was unlawfully arrested in District 1 on August 21st. The incident happened in the state-funded facility where my son has been living to get support for his mental condition. He was accused of starting a fire, and the police officer on the scene did not identify themselves by name. I informed the officer that my son has a mental illness and he is in that program. One of the officers said, "This is obviously not working for him." A staff member at the facility asked, "Why is he being arrested?" and offered to contact the nurse on site to administer the medication, but it's unclear if permission was granted by the police officer. I was treated poorly as a senior and did not feel safe. I had to decide to defuse the situation, or it could have escalated. If I wasn't there, I truly believe my son would have been seriously injured or killed. The Long Beach Police Department did not follow city's protocol in health mental care. They are supposed to be supported by the mental evaluation team to respond to medical crises like this one. This is not just about my son. This is a crisis in the community. There aren't enough resources and funding to handle these things. As a Signal Tribune article mentioned, there are only 5 people in the crisis response team in Long Beach to cover 500,000 people. That's not enough. Police are clearly not trained to handle these things, but yet they continue to get majority of the funding. I am extremely concerned that Kaisan has not received his daily medication while being incarcerated. What I am asking of the city, 1, can you help ensure my son gets his medication? As of yesterday, his public defender told me he has not, and it's been 3+ weeks. Two, I would like to have a meeting with Councilwoman Mary Sendejas herself and not your staff. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We have two more speakers on the list, Mia Tuzin and Kathleen.
Hi, my name is Mia Tyson Guerrero. I am Kaizen Guerrero's daughter, and I'm here to speak on my perspective and how I've been dealing with this arrest. So when my grandparents informed me that my father got arrested, they didn't know where he was. So I spent all morning on inmate search, and then I eventually located him at Long Beach Police Department, and this is about 2 to 3 days after his arrest. I just wanted to let the department know that my dad is schizophrenic and he needs his medication, or does he have his medication? Did you know if he grabbed it before he got arrested? XYZ. And I spoke to 2 representatives. One I was going in circles with, she's like, there's a nurse here, he'll get checked up on and he'll get his medication. And I was like, okay, I'm asking if he got checked up on. And they kept replying, he should. So I hung up out of frustration. I spoke to another person, this time it was a guy. I was going in circles with him as well, and then I directly asked him, has my dad been checked up on? Can you inform me that information? They said, no, we don't know and we can't tell you. So I just felt really dismissed, my dad's mental illness. I feel like if he had epilepsy or seizures or even diabetes, he would get the medical attention he needs, but he's not. He's just getting overlooked. Schizophrenia is the mental illness he has, is progressive. So that means right now, while he's not medicated, it's getting worse. I feel like multiple layers and bodies of government have failed my father. I'm in my 2nd week of college. I had my first test today, and I'm just dealing with this. Because I'm here to speak for my dad who can't speak for himself. Mental illness is overlooked greatly by society, and we're unwilling to support people who struggle with it. And I just feel really that's all I really have to say. Something needs to change. He needs some sort of support because he's still not medicated right now.
Well, thanks for coming down, Mia. Did you say that he's in custody in Long Beach?
He was.
But he's not in Long Beach currently?
No, they told me they were sending him to LA County if he acted up, and then they sent him to LA County the next day.
Okay. So we'll just have staff just make sure that we do whatever we can to make sure you know where your father is. And thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
All right. Next is Kathleen.
Hello, thank you for listening today. Today I went to the first Continuum of Care meeting I've ever been to, and I have to say I'm pretty excited about the huge possibility of LA County, Pasadena, Long Beach all working together and cross-referencing resources on how to do things right. And I'm looking forward to good news over the coming years from the Continuum of Care group. I know it's just a beginning. I know things take a while, but as you can hear, mental health is a crisis in our Long Beach, and so everything we can do to help do things responsibly now, it would be great. This became a huge priority for me when I learned about Measure A, and a lot of people went door knocking to make sure it passed. So we all care about seeing the results of our investment in time, sweat, and tears, and knocking on doors, and also the time, sweat, and tears people are going to put into the continuum of care and helping our mentally ill and people to prevent people from being unhoused and housed. So I'm looking for a good plan to calibrate us, because we need it now, and also to get good data so that people who do want to help, we can respond. We can't do the right thing if we don't have good data, such as how long are people on a list for housing, how long are people on a list for services, how long is it taking people to get their medication when they're detained. That should not be happening. And no knocking people off a list for being disruptive because they don't have their medication or We can't be pushing people back because they're having a mental health crisis. Also, of course, we shouldn't be expecting our police officers to be doing everything, and they're not trained to help with mental health people. So please, let's get that 24-hour tip line, 24/7, community of care, go Long Beach line, so whenever there is a health crisis, we can document it, create the track record to help gather the data to help us find the right answer for the mental health and the community of care here in Long Beach. So also including that, I know we have a lot to be excited about this budget being passed and hope for the future, but I'd like to see the dream budget, which is the one that didn't pass that we asked for versus the reality, and I'd love to see like the resources of, if we're not spending money here, maybe that can move over there to help us address some of these mental health issues, including training volunteers so we can be there to help when and we know what to do in a situation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Well, that concludes public comment. We'll move on now to the budget hearing. I'll call up hearing item 14, please.
Report from Financial Management, recommendation to receive supporting documentation into the record, conclude the public hearing, and take the actions necessary to adopt the fiscal year 2026 budget as listed in Attachment A, citywide.
All right. So we do this every year, and it's spelled out in our charter that we have to have our budget adopted a couple weeks before it goes into effect October 1. So tonight is our first step, and then next week we'll go through the full adoption process. We have no presentations since you've heard all the departments. So we're going to start and bring public comment up first before we get into the recommendations. And so let's see how many public comment we have. All right, there are 46 people signed up to speak. We're going to do 60 seconds each. Please line up. And to sign up, it would have been to sign up before the item at the clerk's office. And so I'm going to call the first 20. When you hear your name, please come forward, and then we'll begin. Number 1 is Karen Rezide, Jessica Quintana, Itzel, Diana Norman, Lilia O, Ariana Sagun, Sharon Weissman, Cindy Sagun, Leon and Paula Wood, Cynthia San, Violeta Leones, Andrew Mandujano, Joel Gomez, Eli Gomez, Romeo Hebron, Jay Jimenez, Jazz Tabar, Jennifer Tafel, and Ann Burdette. Those are the first 20. Did you see them? I don't see Chris Covington here. Okay, for some reason I'm hearing Chris Covington is actually number 1. For some reason I didn't have him on my list. Chris, you got to come all the way to the front, man. All right, Christopher, you're recognized.
All right, thank you, Mayor and City Council members. Deep appreciations to each of you for participating in this process and engaging the community in the different ways that you've done so far. And also deep appreciation to city staff for the community hearings and the surveys that have gone out. My name is Christopher Covington. I am the co-chair of the Advancing Peace Steering Committee. We are the Violence Prevention Initiative for the City of Long Beach. I'm here in partnership with the One Long Beach Collaborative. Earlier this budget process, we sent over a letter requesting $5 million for violence prevention. We want to appreciate getting close to the $5 million, approximately approximately $4.5 million have been allocated to violence prevention and more. And so our ask today is to request the city manager identify additional funds for community activations. That was one of the areas that wasn't invested in, but today we are able to find a solution to partner with community development and the Violence Prevention and Health Department. So thank you for your time, and we hope that you can pass the budget. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is Karen Rezide.
Everyone, we are here. After hours of meetings, I want to first of all, Rex, recognize you. You made a promise to our older adults, and you kept it. Thank you so much. We're looking forward. There are going to be major changes for the way older adults are housed in our community. And this is, a lot of it's due to Rex Richardson. So this is quite an accomplishment. This is like my 8th year of budgets. This was the best process ever. And Tom, I really appreciated your ability to listen at the community budget meetings. It made really, I think, a lot of difference in the direction that our community is going in. I'm very proud of what we all together accomplished this year in the budget process. And I'm looking forward to next year's. Thank you all.
Right. Thank you so much. All right, next, Jessica Quintana.
Thank you. Ditto what Karen said. Good afternoon, Jessica Quintana, Executive Director of Centro Cha, also longtime resident for over 61 years in this great city of Long Beach that I love. Here to speak in support of the Mercados on behalf of our Latino Advisory Group. Mercados are important to communities for strengthening local economies, for fostering social bonds, preserving culture, and increasing access to fresh foods. For centuries, they have served as central gathering spaces where commerce and community intersect. While I'm up here, I just want to make sure that I also advocate for our community violence intervention. As you know, our team has been working hard in partnership with our collaborative, with the city. You see all of our youth here who work diligently in the West Side area. They uplifted a lot of the summer programming there. We do the Safe Passages at Cabrillo High School, funded by the Long Beach Unified School District. And we have a lot of our folks that have been just as impacted. So creating safe places for our community is so important. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. And just like Karen said, this has been a great budget process. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we're glad the Mercado, $500,000 for the Mercado is in the budget this year. Thank you so much. Next, Itzel. After Itzel is Diana.
Good evening, council members. My name is Itzel Perez, and I am the Business Development Navigator at Centro Cha, a nonprofit organization that has served Long Beach for decades by supporting small business owners, entrepreneurs, and sidewalk vendors. I'm here today to voice our strong support for El Mercado de Long Beach at Cesar Chavez Park. Centro Cha works closely with local vendors, many of whom are immigrants, women, and heads of household, who face barriers to formalizing their business and accessing safe, designated vending spaces. El Mercado would not only provide a safe and supportive environment for vendors to operate, but also offer a centralized space where education, technical assistance, and cultural celebration come together. It's a model of economic equity and community empowerment. We urge you to invest in this initiative. It will uplift working families, preserve cultural traditions, and build pathways to economic stability in Long Beach. Thank you for your time and leadership.
Thank you so much. All right, next is Diana, and after Diana is Lilia.
Estimado alcalde Rex Richardson, miembros del concilio, mi nombre es Diana Norman, promotora de salud en Centro Cha. Me dirijo a ustedes con respeto y compromiso comunitario para solicitar su apoyo y asignación de fondos destinados a Centro Cha y el desarrollo de un proyecto de gran relevancia para nuestra comunidad, el Mercadito Latino. En este espacio se busca hacer mucho más que un mercado. Será un punto de encuentro cultural y comunitario donde se celebra la riqueza de nuestras tradiciones latinas a través de la gastronomía, el arte, la música y el empoderamiento local. Los beneficios del Mercadito Latino por la ciudad de Long Beach son múltiples. El impulso es económico y generar empleos. La misión de Centro Cha, con su historial comprobado de servicio a la comunidad, garantiza la capacidad de liderar y administrar este proyecto con responsabilidad, transparencia, visión y a largo plazo. Por todo lo anterior, solicitamos respetuosamente que la ciudad de Long Beach destine recursos financieros para hacer posible
We need time for interpretation.
Dear Mayor Rex Richardson and council members, my name is Diana Norman. I am a community health worker at Centro Cha. I address you with respect and community commitment to request your support and allocation of funds for Centro Cha and the development of a project of great importance to our city, El Mercadito Latino.
This space seeks to be much more than a market. It will be a cultural and community gathering place where the richness of our Latin traditions will be celebrated through gastronomy, art, music, and local entrepreneurship. The mission of Centro Cha, with its proven track record of community service, guarantees the ability to lead and manage this project with responsibility, transparency, and a long-term vision. For all of the above reasons, we respectfully request that the City of Long Beach allocate financial resources to make El Mercadito Latino possible, a project that will bring economic development, social cohesion, and a greater tourism to our beloved city. We thank you in advance for your attention and commitment to our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Ariana. Or Lilia. I'm sorry, Lilia. And then Ariana, forgive me, and then Sharon. You had it right.
Good evening. My name is Lilia Ocampo, and I am a promotora de salud with Centro Cha and a long-time District 1 resident. And I'm here to ask you to support the budget in our center, Latino Cultural Center, which is a place where our community feels, that's the purpose of our community, to feel safe and sense of belonging, given to the hard times that we're passing, we are being attacked, and we are offering a place for the community to feel at home and to feel reaffirmed on their culture. And we held workshops with the promotoras, create workshops at the how to make a piñata and tie-dye shirts and many, many others that are coming just to feel the community,
Thank you. Your time is
Latino
concluded.
community to feel safe and that belongs. So please support the budget and the other ask in the budget.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is Ariana and then Sharon.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. My name is Ariana Sagun. I am a resident of the 8th District and the Community Health Justice Manager at Centro Cha. And I'm here today to express strong support for the inclusion of the $500,000 in the budget this year for El Mercado de Long Beach, and will also uplift the 20 letters of support that you're receiving from our congressional elected officials, state senator, assembly members, city elected representatives, community partners, and leaders. This is more than just a developmental project. El Mercado is a vision for inclusive economic growth rooted in the heart of our Latino community. It will be a vibrant hub for small business development, cultural spaces, all managed and represented from the Latino people. El Mercado and El Centro Cultural Latino will foster and create a safe space for resilient communities and provide generational well-being for our Latino community, especially as we're being attacked as we see. So please invest in this future. El Mercado de Long Beach is how we build equity, empower community, and honor the rich heritage of Latinos in the city of Long Beach.
Your time is concluded.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Sharon and then Cindy.
Thank you, Mayor, and happy birthday, Councilwoman. I'm here on behalf of the community to advocate for our libraries. I serve as the Vice President of the Long Beach Public Library Foundation. We appreciate your support of our libraries and ask for your support of the current budget recommendations to post no loitering signs at the main library and to enforce it and assess the needs of our 10 oldest libraries toward the purpose of repairing, refurbishing, and modernizing them. We had asked for 4 hours of free validated parking at the main library. I understand that is not perhaps the desire of the council. It is to do a pilot program. And we would ask that you fund that pilot program so it doesn't come out of the library's budget to provide the 3 hours of parking for library patrons. The estimate is that the full cost of that could be $80,000 to $100,000. And we would ask that you would fund that so it does not come out of the library's budget and further drain their very small budget for materials and supplies and such things. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next is Cindy and then Leon and Paula Wood.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and Council. My name is Cindy Sagun, and I am the CVI Programs Manager at Centro Cha, District 8 resident and a member of the Advancing Peace Steering Committee. On behalf of the One Long Beach Collaborative, we are appreciative of the conversations and investments towards CVI this year. Recently, the data has shown a decrease in violence. However, the community and trauma in our communities is still ongoing. CVI is community-led, trauma-informed, and evidence-based. With the data being presented to you all right now, we can be intentional with community activation in our most impacted communities. The federal government has made their cuts that directly impact our most vulnerable communities. Today, Long Beach has the opportunity to become champions in CVI. Community safety is a collective responsibility. Please fully fund the remaining $1.54 million for CVI and prioritize $600,000 for community activations. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so I see two names but split in 1 minute. That's not fair.
I know.
So I think we need to make sure they get 2 minutes for Leon and Paula Wood. It's two people. It's only equitable, right?
Good evening,
All right.
Mayor and City Council members. My name is Paula Wood, and I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of the One Long Beach initiative as a part of that group, and as well as the City Violence Prevention Group. We're seeking additional support for $1.4 million of services. There's things that are still underserved. For instance, our year-round activation, safe passages, and the healing response. And we'd like to see if additional funds can be added to support those programs as well. This year, the Long Beach Police Department reported 237 shootings from last May to this May. And this is nearly double what we've seen in the past. And we all have seen an increase in violence, particularly this summer. These programs save lives and prevent violence, support survivors, and help youth thrive. We work with a youth program, and it's very important that we be able to let our youth know and their families know that they have a safe place to live. Long Beach is a safe home for many, but it's also a very dangerous place where some people don't feel safe to walk at night during the day. So we ask that you take this into consideration. We appreciate the support we received. I ditto all of those that spoke about the process. It has been wonderful this year. I went to some of the community meetings, and the city manager did a great job of explaining and things, and I feel that people understand better, and we know you have a hard decision to make, so we just hope that we can ask you to consider violence prevention in your decision making. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, next is Cynthia.
Well, I just want to say that what we have now is the beginning of something I think is going to be fantastic. Through the leadership of Central Cha and what's happening in the community, communities are coming together. When they come together and start talking and conversing, violence is reduced. We're beginning to act together, work together, and if we continue to get funded so we can be together and really plan the programs in unity, we will stop violence, people will come together, and we'll have, once again, a loving community instead of a community that people just stand away from each other. I think we're on the right track right now.
Absolutely.
And thank you very
I
much.
believe in that. Thank you. All right, next is Cynthia, and then Violetta, and then Andrew.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and elected officials. My name is Sathya Sam from Pacific Asian Counseling Services and Chair of Cambodia Town. I'm here to support the Language Justice Coalition $300,000 budget request. These funds cover 3 essentials: full-time Tagalog Filipino language specialists, enhanced office equity language services oversight, community-based multilingual outreach. In my work with Cambodian and Filipino communities, I see the impact of language barrier. Long Beach diversity is our strength, but only when all residents can participate equally, regardless of language. Language barriers shouldn't prevent anyone from accessing city services or engaging in democracy. I encourage you to support this investment in true community inclusion. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is Violetta, then Andrew, then Joel.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and Council members. Mabuhay. My name is Violetta Leones. I'm an outreach worker with the Pacific Asian Counseling Services and a proud resident of Long Beach for 23 years under District 8 to my council district. Dr. Tunua, happy birthday, maligayang kaarawan. I stand before you today carrying the voices of the Filipino families who cannot be here because they fear not being understood. As a community worker, every day in a grassroots level, I help our kababayans, our Filipino fellow Filipinos navigate healthcare, housing, and basic services. But more often, I am simply translating, bridging the gap between survival and silence. Long Beach is home to nearly 21,000 Filipinos, the largest Asian group in the city. We are not invisible, but we are unheard. Our elders, our workers, our families deserve to be seen, heard, and respected in their own language. Council members and mayor, may I ask you to fill our Filipino community. I hope you would reconsider your approval of the language access budget so that every Filipino in Long
Thank
Beach
you.
knows
Your time is
they
concluded.
belong. Our voice matters and their
Thank you.
language is welcome. Maraming salamat po.
All right, thank you. Andrew?
Hello, folks. Andrew Mandujano, Project Director with Books and Buckets. I'm actually going to speak on behalf of two of our youth leaders. So hello, my name is Andrew Jimenez, and I live in City Council District 1, represented by Councilwoman Mary Zendejas. There are a lot of issues that I see around in my area that include gun violence, gang affiliation, and most importantly, the renters and immigrants that get harassed for no reason. These are all important to me because I've seen the gang violence and the problems it causes, especially to the younger generation growing up. And when it comes to renters and immigrants, they're harassed day after day. They do no harm and help us in many ways that we all benefit from in our daily lives. Second youth, hello, my name is Noah Guerra. My representative is Cindy Allen. Some problems I see in our neighborhood include harassment, fights, physical, domestic, and verbal abuse are commonly seen. What do these all have in common? Violence. Violence has always been a big problem in our community, especially now where the most discriminated people are immigrants. People who are just trying to live a better life and for some reason are getting the most violence. I can relate to this topic because my family members are immigrants and are more scared than ever. Both youth request that you all increase violence prevention funding to $5 million, $2.2 million for the
Sir,
Long
your
Beach
time's
Justice
concluded.
Fund, and $2 million for eviction defense and supporting these individuals who are protecting renters, immigrants, and youth on our streets.
Thank you. All right, next is Joel. After Joel is Eli.
What is?
Good evening, Mayor Rex and council members. My name is Joel Gomez, a youth ambassador for Centro Cha. I'm reaching out with an urgent plea. Please fully fund the $600,000 for year-round community activations in the FY 2026 budget. These aren't just events on a calendar, they're vital lifelines for our community. I've seen at Admiral Kid Park how resource fairs, youth gatherings, and safe spaces bring people together, foster trust, and turn tension into leadership understanding. With 237 shootings in Long Beach this past year, nearly double the usual, we desperately need ways to connect and prevent violence before it happens. Year-round activations give young people like me hope. They offer us places to belong, mentors to guide us, and positive activities that keep us away from trouble. These programs are more than just fun. They're a lifeline for safety, healing, and building a stronger community. Please don't let this opportunity slip away. Funding these activations is an urgent step towards a safer, more connected Long Beach. I implore you to prioritize this in the upcoming budget and show us that our safety and well-being matter every single day. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Eli and then Romeo.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Ellie Gomez-Perez. I am a youth ambassador for Centro Cha and a sophomore at Jordan High School. I am here to ask you to fully fund the remaining $1.54 million needed for the violence prevention and youth development in the FY 2026 budget. I am very appreciative that the mayor proposed budget includes investment in the areas. That is a strong start, but we know that there are several essential programs remaining unfunded, including year-round activation, safe passages, and many healing responses. From last May to this May, Long Beach experienced 236 shootings, almost double from recent years. Behind each of these numbers is a family, an affected neighborhood, and a future at risk. I have gotten a scene that being there for your community and making them feel seen not only prevents violence, but a sense of unity. And Long Beach stands for making a difference in the community and making a better Long Beach. And this can be an investment not only that supports the mission, but brings forth safety, equity, and hope for many futures. Thank you for your leadership and time.
All right, thank you. Romeo and then Jay Jimenez.
Hello, Romeo Hebron with the Filipino Migrant Center. We are here again to express our support for $2.2 million for the Long Beach Justice Fund, as well as supporting the recommendation from the Budget Oversight Committee for $130K and then also $150K for business certifications through the Justice Fund. We also support $1.5 million to sustain the Tenant Right to Counsel program, and then as well as future affordable housing efforts through the Community Land Trust. And then for the Language Justice Coalition, we also support, as the largest Asian subgroup in the city. For Filipinos, we also support funding, and the Language Justice Coalition's asks for a full-time Tagalog interpreter and translator with the city. And then lastly, we will continue to support and stand with the Guerrero family who spoke earlier, so we can continue to support this and also work on addressing and how the city can address the mental health issues in our community. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Jay Jimenez and then Jazz Tabar.
Hi, I'm here with FMC and as a member of District 1, supporting the $2.2 million for the Long Beach Justice Fund, as well as the recommendation from the Budget Oversight Committee for $130K, and then $150K for business certifications. Also support $1.5 million to sustain the Tenant Right to Counsel program, and then for the language justice efforts, supporting the full-time Tagalog language specialists, like we said, and the multilingual outreach through trusted community organizations. There is also just a need for continuing to show outward support for the Filipino community and workers in the city, especially when it comes to distribution of needs and accessibility for the community. As someone who supports with direct services, it needs to be simple, it needs to be swift, and the process and people involved must treat the community with care and thoughtfulness. Please don't stop at supporting those who are available to attend these meetings. Continue to make room for hearing the people's demands outside of City Hall throughout the year to see how these decisions are affecting your constituents. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Jazz and then Jennifer.
My name is Jazz Sabar, a resident of District 1, volunteer with Filipino Migrant Center, and member of Anak Bayan Long Beach. I'm here once again because I'm continuing to hear about the obstacles of our migrant communities and undocumented youth who call Long Beach their home but have to navigate challenges that hinder them from getting concrete support in the city and protecting their rights and welfare. I hope that through the Justice Fund, ample funding and support will ensure resources can be swiftly accessible to community members who are constantly navigating these difficulties and will be more vulnerable due to the Supreme Court ruling allowing for racist tactics that will further militarize and displace our communities. So again, I call for $2.2 million for the Long Beach Justice Fund, $150,000 for business certifications, $1.5 million to sustain the Tenant Rights to Counsel program, including the future affordable housing efforts and the community land trust, and $150,000 for full-time Tagalog language specialists, $50K for multilingual outreach through trusted community organizations, and express my solidarity with the Guerrero family to ensure ample mental health services and accountability for the treatment of their family. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Jennifer.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council members. I'm clergy in community at First Congregational Church of Long Beach, located in District 1. I'm here to support the allocation of $400,000 for the Long Beach Community Land Trust and a structural $2.2 million for the Long Beach Justice Fund. And I would like to thank the Mayor and Council Member Thrashentuk for the Tenant Right to Counsel program of $1.5 million and $500,000 for rental assistance. As I shared last week at the council meeting and still holds true, my faith instructs me to care for the vulnerable in my community. I believe that housing is a human right and that my neighbors have the right to breathe easy on the way to work, school, and in their daily life. The Justice Fund will create a way for loved ones and community members to advocate for those who are victims of the prevalent ICE raids in the community. The Right to Counsel and Land Trust will provide ways to keep people in their homes and root out one unfortunate cause of homelessness. I continue to urge you to be a model for the rest of LA County and the nation. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Well, Ann, before you come up, I'm going to call the next 20 or so speakers. Renee H., Brandy Davison, Zaira, Maria Dolores Anguano, Eric Garcia, Celeste Wilson, Jennifer C., Jill Collins, Sambo Sock, Veronica Garcia Davalos, Carlos V., Chana Ham Rosebrock, Mr. Whitehead, Noah Chelsea T., Elizabeth Segura, John Redondo, Jennifer McCown, Jaceel Bell, and Jacqueline Perez. All right, Ann, you have the floor.
Excuse me for speaking to the choir, preaching to the choir, but after working for 25 years teaching American history and American government, I was sickened yesterday to watch the highest court in our land ignore the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, which my fifth graders know, and say it's reasonable to search and seize people on the basis of their race, their job, or their affiliations. What do we do in the face of this world turned upside down? What can Long Beach do? Fortunately, we have a city council and we have a staff that looks at the ways that we can protect our Long Beach residents. And there are two ways that people are being unreasonably searched and seized. That is in their homes by eviction and out on the streets at the car wash. So I urge you to look at the Sixth Amendment against for due process and right to counsel, and back 2.2 for the Justice Fund and 1.5, thank you, Tunua, for the right to counsel. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Renee?
What up? My name is Renee. I'm a constituent of District 6 and a member of the Democratic Socialists of America here in Long Beach. The limited investment of the Justice Fund, eviction program funds, and the Community Land Trust funds are a step in the right direction, but they are still inadequate to address the needs of your constituents. Affordability and safety are the top priorities of most residents, and meeting these community-driven demands will help keep our city safe, rather than the obscene investment in policing that mimics how the Trump administration deals with problems, through intimidation, incarceration, and violence. The federal government is exacerbating many problems locally, and this struggle will long outlive this term. You have the ability to launch services and structural changes that go beyond maintaining the status quo, where working people are struggling to survive. This is what the community is begging for, only to get half concessions. We demand you represent every Long Beach resident, regardless of wealth status or citizenship, and defend our right to a dignified life. We are united in this, and we need you to be united with us.
Thank you. Next is Brandy, then Zyra.
Good evening, Council. My name is Brandy Davidson, and I'm a community organizer for Libre in partnership with BLM. The Right to Counsel program, as you all know, has been effective in ensuring renters have access to free legal representation that keeps them housed, negotiates settlements so they don't end up displaced, and provides legal counsel to renters that have housing questions. I want to say thank you to Mayor Richardson and Councilwoman Tunua for your leadership and recommendation of $1.5 million for the Right to Counsel program and $500,000 for settlement funds and assistance to the city. Settlement funds can cover back rent fees or negotiated amounts that help tenants stay housed. This prevents tenants from experiencing evictions or housing instability. Finally, deportation and eviction are both forms of forced removal that destabilizes our communities. And I want to voice support for $2.2 million for the Long Beach Justice Fund. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Zyra, and then Maria.
Buenas tardes, honorables miembros del Concilio de la Ciudad de Long Beach. Mi nombre es Zaira, soy inmigrante y miembro de esta comunidad. Llevo más de 25 años viviendo en Long Beach, ciudad que considero mi hogar.
Good afternoon, honorable mayors, honorable members of the City Council of Long Beach. My name is Zaira, and I'm an immigrant and a member of this community. I've been living in Long Beach for the last 25 years, city that I consider home.
Durante todo este tiempo, gracias a Dios, no he tenido ningún problema con la ley, respeto las normas, apoyo mi comunidad y he dedicado mi vida a trabajar por el bienestar de mi familia.
Throughout this time that I've never had an issue with the law. I respect the norms, support my community, and have dedicated my life to work for the well-being of my family.
Soy madre y cuido de mis hijos, cuáles son ciudadanos, y uno de ellos que tiene un diagnóstico que requiere atención y cuidados especiales. A pesar de no contar con un permiso de trabajo, cada día lucho con dignidad para sacar adelante a mi familia.
I'm a mother and take care of my children who are U.S. citizens, one of them who has a medical diagnosis that demands extra attention and special care. Even though I don't possess a work permit, every day I fight with dignity to bring forth my family.
Pero esta situación no es fácil. Mis hijos viven con ansiedad, depresión y el miedo constante de que algún día yo salga de esta casa y no regrese. Y como yo, hay muchas familias en Long Beach, familias trabajadoras, respetuosas y que contribuyen y aman esta ciudad y que merecen vivir sin temor.
But the current situation is not easy. My children live with anxiety, depression, and constant fear that one day I may not return home. And like my case, there are many families alike in Long Beach. Hardworking families, respectful, that contribute and love the city and deserve to live without fear.
Por eso hoy les pido con humildad y con urgencia que apoyen el Fondo de Justicia de $2.2 millones. Pedimos aprueben la recomendación del subcomité de $130,000 y los $150,000 para el alcance de negocios que se vaya directamente al Fondo de Justicia.
Therefore, today I ask you to, with humility and urgency, that you support the Justice Fund with allocating $2.2 million. We ask that you approve the recommendation of the subcommittee for $130K and $150,000 for the business certification program.
Your time's
Sabemos que no es
concluded.
suficiente, pero este fondo es una esperanza para muchas familias. Gracias por su atención.
Thank you for your
All right, thank you very much. All right, Maria and then Eric. Maria?
Buenas tardes, alcalde Ray Richardson y señores del Concilio Municipal. Hoy quiero hablarles como artesana de letras. Quiero tocar las fibras de su alma como escritora, compositora y poeta.
Good afternoon, Mayor Richardson and City Council members. Today I'd like to speak to you as a fine arts artisan, and I'd like to touch the fibers of your soul as a writer, composer, and poet.
Soy miembro de Órale, residente de Long Beach, por 25 años que me hacen amar a nuestro amado y querido Long Beach.
I'm a member of Orale, residents of Long Beach for the last 25 years, which makes me love our beloved Long Beach.
Las recientes redadas de migración han dejado dolor, separación, tristeza. Sé que igual que ustedes, son padres y abuelos al igual que yo.
The recent immigration raids have left pain, separation, and sadness, and I know that like you are also parents and grandparents.
Lo ideal sería que las familias vivieran unidas en una ciudad segura, fuera de amenazas y sin miedo a ser deportadas.
Ideally, it would be great that families should live free of threats and without fear of being deported.
He mirado el miedo de los niños y el temor que tienen que alguno de sus padres sea deportados.
I've seen the fear in the children knowing that one of their parents could be deported.
Les contaré una breve anécdota. Hace unos días caminaba por la Chesna y la 3, miré un grupo de niños con sus maestras, estaban a punto de cruzar la calle 3. De repente uno de los niños gritó, córranle, ahí viene la migra.
I'd like to share a short anecdote. A couple of days ago, I was walking on Chestnut and 3rd Street. I saw a group of kids along with teachers who were about to cross the street, when all of a sudden one of the kids yelled, "Let's run, the Border Patrol is coming."
No es que la migra viniera, es la situación que se está viviendo. Sentí tristeza ver que nuestros niños están traumados.
I felt a lot of sadness knowing that our kids are now traumatized due to the present political climate.
Time's concluded.
Gracias. All right, Eric, and then Celeste.
What's up, y'all? Eric Garcia, I'm the Organizing and Program Director with Orale. We thank the Budget Oversight Committee for their recommendation of $130K additional toward the Justice Fund, and we support the $150 for the Business Certification Program to go to the Justice Fund. And while we're grateful y'all recognize the need, we continue to support $2.2 million in structural funding for the Justice Fund. Only $1 million of what's proposed is new money. When we brought up rollover funds last week, we did so to point to some of that money is already accounted for through contracts for this year. Our aim was to highlight that we're asking for 2.2 in new funding, not including not rollover funds, or not don't roll them over, Mayor. I'm also, the Supreme Court ruled the feds can racially profile people and arrest them without reasonable suspicion, which demonstrates this problem isn't going anywhere and is in fact ramping up. We need 2.2 to be structural. I'm also here to thank you for allocating 1.5 million toward eviction defense, 500K for the settlement funds, and I ask that you allocate 200 toward the community land trust. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Celeste.
All right, good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. I'm actually here on two different organizations tonight. So first, on behalf of the Long Beach Chamber, I'm just here to echo and reiterate our support for the Mayor's Back to Business Activation Plan in this fiscal year budget. You know, those funds are absolutely necessary as we prepare for the Olympics and host millions of tourists. On the other side, I am a new board member for the Wrigley Association, which is one of the oldest historic neighborhood organizations here in Long Beach, and we're respectfully requesting that the micro grants be reinstated in this year's budget. They're absolutely vital for our neighborhoods to be able to have access to funds and do things that they might not be able to do without other city resources. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer, and after Jennifer is Jill. So I have Jennifer, Jill, then Sambo.
Hello, Mayor and Council members. I have lived in District 9 since 2009 and am representing Khmer Girls in Action. Our Southeast Asian community fled war, dictatorship, and genocides to rebuild their lives alongside immigrant communities, creating a thriving Long Beach. The Supreme Court ruled on Monday that it's okay to racially profile people, detain them, and deport them to countries they've never been to, like Sudan. Many folks are contacting us looking for Khmer language access to support employees that have been kidnapped by ICE while on the job. This is a terror on our communities, and we have to use all the tools we can to stand up against this fascist regime. Please support the $2.2 million for the Long Beach Justice Fund so we could support our neighbors and families being detained. Please also support the Budget Oversight Committee recommendation of $130K and $150K for a business certification. Fight for the dignity of all our community members, and thank you.
All right, thank you. Jill, and then Sambo, then Veronica.
Hi, I'm Jill with Libre. I just want to say thank you, Mayor Rex Richardson and the board members for supporting Right to Counsel. Libre has helped 4,500 renters since its inception. I'm happy to be able to continue to serve the renters in the community, providing information, resources, and support. And I just want to say thank you all so much.
Thank you. All right, Sambo, and then Veronica.
All right. Hello, City Council members and Mayor Rex Richardson. My name is Sambo Sat. I'm a resident of District 2. I'm also a member of the Language Justice Coalition, representing Educated Mentors with Meaningful Messages, a youth program at St. Mary's Medical Center. I'm here to support the Language Justice budget demands of $3,000. I won't repeat what my fellow coalition members shared with you because I know we will work together to make this happen with your support. Over 10 years ago with the Cambodian community, because I'm Cambodian American, we came here to advocate for these services and were able to get the win. And now we want our fellow Filipinos to have the same opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Veronica, and then Carlos.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members, and happy birthday. My name is Veronica Garcia Davalos. I am the CEO of the Long Beach Public Library Foundation and a District 5 resident. I may not have 25 supporters behind me, but represent tens of thousands of supporters who are library patrons. And I support the mayor's budget and the Budget Oversight Committee's budget recommendation, and I thank you. But I do have a few requests. When Measure A was on the ballot, voters were told that we must maintain and modernize our libraries. And this was the flyer that went out. Well, 9 of our 12 branches have not been remodeled since 1950s, 60s, and 70s. So we ask you to ensure that the 5-year infrastructure plan to assess our libraries start next year, if not sooner. And we'd also like to dedicate Measure A funds with increases over time to repair and modernize them. That language is missing in this budget.
Your time's concluded.
Instead of subsidizing parking, we'd like to fund the pilot. We'd like you to fund the pilot for Billie Jean King Library.
Ma'am, your time's concluded.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll make some time. We'll make some time to talk. I think we'll make some time to talk. I think the comments on Measure A, there's 2 Measure A's now. There's countywide Measure A on housing and homelessness. Then there's Long Beach Measure A, and I think we got to be clear on what each of those does. But I'm happy to talk with you about our local Measure A. All right, Carlos, and then Chana.
Cool. Hello, Carlos, Communications Manager with Orale and a District 8 resident. I'm here to echo the demands for $2.2 million for the Long Beach Justice Fund, $2 million for eviction defense, and $400,000 for the Community Land Trust. With this, I'm also asking that we support the BOC's recommendation of moving $130,000 to the Long Beach Justice Fund and the suggestion for moving 150K to the from the business certification program to the Long Beach Justice Fund. Legal support is expensive, prohibitively so, and our communities are being attacked and will continue to be after the Supreme Court decision we learned about yesterday. They shouldn't have to worry about paying for expensive legal services when they're already worried about navigating the violence that's being inflicted on them by immigration enforcement every day. Help protect your people by supporting these asks. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is Chana and then Mr. Whitehead.
Hi, I'm Hannah Ham-Rosebrock. And first I wanted to thank you, Mayor Richardson, and also Councilwoman Thrash and Tuck. And by the way, happy birthday. It's also my third child's birthday today. It's a wonderful day. I wanted to thank you guys for your leadership and recommendation on the $1.5 million for the Right to Counsel program, and for the $500,000 for the settlement assistance in the budget. The support is vital to prevent removing people from their homes, and it's so much more viable to keep people in their homes, to spend money to do that rather than to have to try and get people back into their homes, the renters. We urge the council to please support the recommendation, and I'd like to voice my support for the budget for ask the community to include $2.2 million for the Long Beach Justice Fund and support the recommendations being forwarded today. Support for permanently affordable housing through the Long Beach Community Land Trust.
Ma'am, your time's concluded.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Whitehead and then Noah.
Hello, I'm Mr. Whitehead. My property is in District 8, and I'm here because I'm concerned about whether or not a local monopoly is complying with Penal Code 396. On tonight's measure or agenda, there's a water and sewage increase of possibly 12%. I attended the Prop 218 meeting and requested information indicating that their expenses have increased sufficiently to warrant a price increase that would put them into the realm of price gouging. And so far, I've yet to receive that information, and it looks like they've also possibly are price gouging us for trash and gas.
Thank you. Next is Noah and then Chelsea.
Hi, my name is Noah. I'm an organizer with Californians for Justice, and I live in District 1, and I have lived in District 8 before. I only ever come to speak to the council when requesting action that shows that you care about your residents. The last time I spoke here was for the Invest in Youth campaign. Mr. Rex Richardson, you were our champion for the Invest in Youth campaign when we were demanding funds for young people. That work has not stopped. Our young people need their parents. They need safety. You cannot promise their safety. Limiting cooperation with immigration enforcement is not enough. Families deserve a fighting chance. They deserve a fair shot at justice. Immigrant communities are being broken, and it is affecting our young people. This has been a problem since I was a minor. I'm 26 now. I grew up being prepared to raise my little brother in the case that my parents got deported. There was no backup option or hope for a lawyer. I've been blessed to have made it this long with my parents, but now I'm 26 and the students I work with are dealing with the same issues and are here to speak. I hope you truly hear them and not just listen. Our students deserve to have stable housing, families deserve to be together, and students need the ability to they need stability to be able to fully focus on their education. Please allocate the $2.2 million funds in the structural funding of the Long Beach Justice Fund, the $2.4 of the housing, and the $4,000 of the community land trust. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Chelsea and then Elizabeth.
Good evening, Council. My name is Chelsea Zanoon, and I am a resident of District 7 and a part of Californians for Justice. I am standing here before you to ask you to fund the $2.2 million for the Justice Fund that would go far and help families being tormented by ICE. I myself am a proud daughter of immigrant parents, and instead of my parents having to worry about my safety, I worry about theirs. I worry about my parents coming home. I worry about my father's car being in the driveway. I feel my heart drop when I don't see my mother in the living room. I shouldn't have to worry about graduating without my parents. And sadly, this is a common fear within the community. As we know, the Supreme Court just overruled lower court decision that will now allow ICE to racially profile and detain people who look Latino and or speak Spanish. This alone goes against our Fourth Amendment rights, which protects people from unreasonable searches from the government without a prior search warrant. As we know, Long Beach population is 43 to 44% Latino population.
Your time's concluded.
Can you imagine what this fear would do to our community? How much more fear they would face? So council, I stand before you and ask for these 22 million that would help the community and show them that you stand with them. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Elizabeth and then John.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Segura. I'm a student at Jordan High School, a youth organizer with Californians for Justice, and I am a resident of District 8. I'm here today to speak about the Justice Fund. I'm sure many of you have heard about the incident that occurred on Labor Day. They detained 2 workers from the Excellent Car Wash and Auto Detail Shop located just north of Willow Street. One of the men detained was the manager. However, he is much more than just a hardworking man striving to provide for his family. He is a husband, a friend, and a father. He is someone who's been in my life since as long as I can remember. He is my best friend's dad. No child should ever have to worry about whether or not their dad will make it home from work today. Unfortunately so, that day, her dad didn't make it home. He was kidnapped, thrown to the ground with no way to fight for his rights. So here I stand today, fighting for not only his rights, but for everyone else who is also being affected. We must come together in order to make a difference. This is why we are asking for the $2.2 million for the Justice Fund, the $2 million for eviction defense, and $400,000 for the Community Land Trust. Thank you.
J-H-O-N, John, okay. John, then Jennifer, then Jacille.
All right. Hello, council members and Mayor Rex Richardson. My name is John Redondo. I'm the chairperson of Anak Bayan Long Beach, a grassroots organization based in Westside Long Beach that fights for the rights and welfares of Filipinos everywhere. And I'm speaking here to you today to urge you all to allocate $2.2 million in new structural funding through the Long Beach Justice Fund to meet critical needs of immigrants living in Long Beach and to continue to grow the expansion of the fund. And a little bit about me, my mom migrated here to the US in 1992, and it took her over 25 years to get her citizenship. And at any point in time, I could have come and taken her and split my family apart, especially with other family members of mine who also, don't have citizenship. And thankfully, the federal immigration landscape was not so hostile during that time, but obviously since the beginning of the year, that is no longer the case. And in Long Beach, there are over 30,000 undocumented residents. And how can these residents truly contribute to their communities if they don't feel supported or safe within their own homes? And the question I want to ask you is, how can we say that we are working towards and fighting for a better and safer Long Beach if we are not genuinely caring for all of our community members, especially those who are struggling and are in need? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is Jennifer, and then Jacille.
Hello, my name is Jennifer McCown. I'm here to speak on requesting better fentanyl testing for our community. Long Beach has seen too many lives lost to fentanyl. Families here are grieving, and we can't afford more preventable deaths. Harm reduction is not about encouraging drug use, it's about saving lives. Just like seatbelts and Narcan, fentanyl test tools gives people a chance to stay alive long enough to make better decisions. These tools are simple and effective, and they should be normalized, not stigmatized. Every life we save is another son, daughter, or neighbor who gets another tomorrow. Let's act with compassion and urgency. Long Beach deserves real solutions now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Jacille, before you begin, I'm gonna call the next few names. You have Jacqueline Perez, Melvin Harris, Cass, Kimberly Lim, Lily Piedra, Andre Donato, and Nazir, you know who you are. Okay, Jacille, you have the floor.
I'm Jacqueline.
Okay. Well, Jacille is Jacille not here? All right, Jacqueline, you have the floor.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Jacqueline Perez Valencia. I'm here on behalf of the Economic Justice Manager at Orale. I'm here in support of the demands of the Long Beach Justice Fund, especially the $150 for business certification to go towards LBJF instead of having a new RFP process for it. I'm also here to support $2 million for eviction defense and $400K for community land trusts. We're facing horrifying times where people of color are in danger of being kidnapped. This is the time to stand together as a community and support one another. We need your commitment to stand with immigrants, to stand with Long Beach. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is Melvin.
Good evening. My name is Melvin Harris, and I'm here with the nonprofit Left Beyond Limits.
On behalf of our youth and families, we want to thank the mayor and the city council for your time and for considering the importance of prioritizing violence prevention in this year's budget. We are grateful for your continued investment in the future of young people like us, and your support makes it possible for us to learn, grow, and become leaders in our community. Please prioritize $600,000 to year-round activations to protect and uplift the communities that need it most. We also encourage the city to explore sustainable funding sources, such as tax on unhealthy foods and soda, to protect and structurally fund this work in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Cass, then Kimberly.
Hello, I'm Cass, a four-year renter in District 2. What does it mean to be a sanctuary city? It should include denying cooperation with ICE rather than inaction, and actively reducing the fear of our undocumented neighbors from deportation and separation from their families. While the robust funding from last year is an important step for this year and moving forward, only a portion of the Justice Fund comes from structural funding. Even though the Justice Fund has been funded more each year since its inception, the balance of funds has all come from one-time allocations. Neither contractors nor the community can count on the Justice Fund continuing beyond the most modest of services each year. Additionally, Long Beach still has no full-scope immigration legal service provider based in the city, which makes us an outlier for a city of our size. Oakland, for example, has over a dozen. As a result, legal service providers tasked with serving a community lack important context for their clients' lives, as well as the deep connections within the community and other social services providers in Long Beach. Please allocate $2.2 million in new structural funding to meet the critical needs of immigrants living in our city, and free Palestine.
Thank you. Kimberly, and then Lily.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Lim, community organizer with Long Beach Forward. Too many of our immigrant, refugee, and working class neighbors struggle to access housing, healthcare, or even understand city decisions because resources aren't always available in their language. That's not equity, that's exclusion. This is why I'm here to support the Language Justice Coalition's request of $300,000 to strengthen language access in the city. This includes full-time Tagalog language specialists, funding for multilingual outreach through trusted community organizations, and more resources for the Office of Equity to effectively implement and monitor languages. To meet that need, we encourage the city to reassess MOUs with departments and increase the percentage contribution each department makes towards language access services so that the essential work is sustained. The city's investments in housing programs, healthcare, and immigration programs, such as Right to Counsel, Justice Fund, are so vital to the most vulnerable communities. But without true language access, those resources are locked away from the very communities they're meant to serve. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Lily, and then Andre.
Good afternoon. My name is Lily Piedra. I'm a resident of Council District 1 and outreach manager with Libre. I want to echo gratitude for Mayor Richardson, Councilwoman Tanuas, and the Budget Oversight Committee's support for our ask of $1.5 million to continue the Right to Counsel program and the $500,000 for settlement assistance. The success stories of the Right to Counsel program continually roll in, and we'll make sure to keep sharing them with you and inviting tenants themselves to come share them so you can hear them firsthand. I want to just share that just this week our team helped a resident stay housed by helping her review her documents, just noting that her eviction notice was actually not valid, and just helping her write a letter to her landlord to ask for more time. So we're excited to continue this program, and thank you again for your support.
Thank you. Andre.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilwoman Tuna, happy birthday. On behalf of Libre, I wish to thank you. I want to thank you, Mayor Richardson, and the Budget Oversight Committee for your support of $1.5 million to the Right to Counsel and $500,000 for settlement funds for a total of $2 million, as well for your continuing support to the Community Land Trust. Following the passage of Measure A, this investment reflects your dedication to Long Beach voters in prioritizing homelessness prevention and advancing housing affordability for the long term. We also urge you to support $2.2 million in structural funds for the Justice Fund. Renters' rights are immigrant rights, and through our Budget Our Future coalition, we stand in solidarity to ensure equity and justice for all residents. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Nazir.
Good evening, everybody, and happy birthday, Councilwoman. I'm Nazir Abunis with the Long Beach Community Land Trust. I want to first thank the Budget Oversight Committee members, council, and mayor and staff for all the work that went into creating the budget today. I'd also like to thank you all for allocating $200,000 in County Measure A funds in support of the Community Land Trust technical assistance work. We appreciate the city's shared commitment to creating permanently affordable housing for families across Long Beach. County Measure A has made a commitment to supporting innovative affordable housing models such as Community Land Trust, and this has resulted in a commitment from La Casa, the agency that administers the Measure A funds, to $15 million of acquisition funding for community land trusts. And so we appreciate the support of these technical assistance funds, which will further support us in accessing even more of those $50 million and securing those county resources for Long Beach residents. So thank you for your continued support for the Community Land Trust work. This community-driven model of affordable housing ensures long-term housing stability and stewardship, empowers families, and preserves neighborhood affordability for future generations. And finally, I'd like to express support for the Right to Counsel and Long Beach Justice Fund programs and their requests today. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Okay, well, that concludes public comment. We'll now take it back behind the rail. So, first of all, thanks everyone, not just for coming out and speaking to us today, but your engagement since January, when our budget process really began. You've been engaged at every single step, from the community meetings and at the beginning of the year that helped shape the city manager's recommendations, the engagement directly with our office, and your engagement at city council that helped shape the mayor's recommendations. And since the hearings have begun here at city council, your consistent engagement, your organization, that have shaped some of the budget oversight recommendations that were adopted earlier by the Budget Oversight Committee. Some of those recommendations you had in January have changed because, frankly, the world has changed since January. There's been a lot that has taken place that some of us didn't anticipate. And even, and I'll speak personally, even some of the institutions that we've always been able to count on, institutions that we've watched and supported as it's become more and more progressive with Thurgood Marshall and Ketanji Brown Jackson and all of these steps, it seems like in recent years have turned around and taken us back generations. I'll tell you, I was shocked by the decision the other day. I was shocked because it was so normal that people expected that the Supreme Court, which was supposed to be a check, it's designed to be a check and balance on the executive office. And what it turned into was a rubber stamp. And all the organizations take place when I see folks like, our key to the city holder, Dr. Leon Wood and Paula Wood, and I think of my grandmother who, protested when George Wallace said black students couldn't attend the University of Alabama, and, the history that we fought against in one decision just walked us back and said that it's not only legal, it's acceptable to profile and go after people at their workplace, or just going to the grocery store, just conducting their lives based on their race, their language, or their work. And that's completely unacceptable. But I can tell you as mayor what we're gonna do in Long Beach. In Long Beach, we believe in our values that no matter how you pray, who you love, where you come from, language you speak, you're a member of our community, and we're gonna uphold our values for you. That means we're gonna make sure we continue to support legal support for our communities that may have to go through additional legal steps to make sure they stay with their families. We didn't know that there'd be such emphasis on protecting our businesses at the beginning of the year, but we know that there's been enhanced raids on car washes. We don't have any Home Depots. You can thank Signal Hill for that, for taking all our big boxes. But nonetheless, the workplaces, the restaurants, the car washes, we're gonna have to do some significant work in making sure that they understand their rights, that they have the resources to put up signage to harden and protect their workplaces. That's work that has to happen now that we didn't know had to happen back in January. We also know that there's gonna be a whole lot more people vulnerable and susceptible to eviction now because people may have to make a hard choice whether to go to work and risk being separated from their families. And so we know we're gonna have to have more resources to protect people from eviction. We know that there's gonna have to be more settlement assistance, rental assistance, emergency rental assistance, because we can't anticipate what the next emergency may be. We know that there are people that we supported during the pandemic with emergency housing vouchers, 500, almost 600 families, which now, based on the most recent federal budget, that's uncertain for them, whether they're going to be able to count on that voucher to stay in their home. That was something we didn't know in January when we began this process. So this has evolved. And I know that at different points it's gotten testy, but this is the process. At least we're engaging in this process, and we're making sure we're thinking and being as nimble. When I introduced our budget, I didn't know that they were cutting STI funding in our health department when I introduced my budget, right? That our already stretched thin health department was going to be even more stretched thin. I say that to say we're not backing down on eviction protection. We put forward $1.5 million, and we're very proud of some of the budget oversight recommendations to take it even further and add settlement assistance to bring it to a higher number. And they're gonna talk a little bit about that when we get to that. On the Justice Fund, I think justice is expanded, and $150,000. Honestly, we're probably going to need more, but $150,000 to help prepare our businesses. That is justice. That is us investing in legal defense of our businesses, because the original definition of justice has changed. It's not just protecting people from deportation. It's now also protecting workplaces, and that's going to cost resources. We know that there's emergency cash assistance, flexible cash assistance dedicated to our immigrant communities. We've never done that before. That's the first time, and we're the very first city in LA County to do so and dedicate $500,000 in emergency cash assistance to our immigrant communities. No city has done that. And we also, today, with this budget, are establishing a new $2.5 million fund for flexible cash assistance, and including a new definition, not just our seniors, not just our transitional youth, but also individuals who were not as susceptible before, but because of this administration, they are more susceptible to homelessness, and there's a $2.5 million fund here. So there's a lot here in these recommendations. I'll tell you, we wish we could, wave a magic wand and fund everybody's requests. And we know there's a lot of need, but I'm really proud of what you have done and what this city council has done. And I want to lift up and recognize Councilwoman Joni Ricks-Odie at the Budget Oversight Committee, who's done an incredible job processing all of this to bring us to a place that we can pass a just budget, a budget that other cities will model themselves after, a budget we will have to make changes as things change throughout the year. And we know there are strange headwinds ahead, but I'm proud of the work that has been done here in the city of Long Beach. It makes me proud to be mayor of this city. So that said, we're going to begin the budget adoption process. There are a number of votes. I'm going to ask maybe our city manager to walk us through how many votes we have today, and we're going to go through all of them. The council comments typically happen when we get to BOC recommendations, so council member comments are going to hold till we get to that motion. So we'll go to the clerk, actually. So we'll go to the clerk. Let's tee up the very first motion for adoption.
The first motion is to receive supporting documentation into the record, conclude the hearing, and we have a motion by Joni Ricks-Odie, second by Cindy Allen.
All right, members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Thank you. Next motion, please.
The second motion is, or 14.1, is recommendation to adopt mayor's proposed budget recommendations as amended to the proposed fiscal year 26 budget, A-1.
You want to switch to me? I think it's fine. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you can switch it to me, but I believe our budget manager was going to read the mayor's recommendations.
You need to read these? Okay, let's read them into the record.
There's 45, so we'll get started. Motion to support Mayor Richardson's proposed budget recommendations as follows. A1, motion to reallocate general fund group funds in the amount of $900,000 for one-time small business rebound initiatives in the Economic Development and Opportunity Department to now be funded with the successor agency proceeds within its citywide reserve allocation, and reallocate $100,000 of one-time community crisis response funds in the Health and Human Services Department to be funded by County Measure A. This reallocation will fund the following initiatives. A2, motion to add one-time funds of $50,000 in the general fund group in the police department to implement recommendations by the Long Beach Police Department regarding personal security measures, such as security cameras and raised fences for citywide and council district level elected officials in light of increasing rates of violence and threats targeting public officials across the country. A3, motion to add one-time funds of $90,000 in the general fund group in the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department to support Hoops After Dark, a skills camp that brings support of a wide range of stakeholders, from individual youth participants in high-crime areas to their families, local businesses, and the broader Long Beach community, and offers a combination of sports, mentorship, educational workshops, and community engagement activities. A4, motion to add one-time funds of $175,000 in the general fund group in the Health and Human Services Department to continue the Office of Youth Development Coordinator position. A5, motion to add one-time funds of $60,000 in the general fund group in the Health and Human Services Department to support youth outreach and administration to manage the Youth Participatory Budgeting Program. An additional one-time funds of $50,000 offset by the reserve allocations as the part of the successor agency sale proceeds is recommended for the program for a total of $110,000. A6, motion to add one-time funds of $25,000 in the general fund group in the Health and Human Services Department for the Long Beach Area Veterans Collaborative to support volunteer coordination, veteran community outreach and engagement, and the development of a digital resource hub for Long Beach veterans. A7, motion to add one-time funds in the amount of $600,000 in the general fund group in the city manager's office, along with the current budget allocation to bring the total funding for the Long Beach Justice Fund to $1.85 million, ensuring our residents have access to legal representation and resources necessary to safeguard their constitutional rights, uphold due process protections, and preserve family unity. A8, motion to approve the use of $8.7 million in successor agency proceeds from the sale former redevelopment agency properties in the general fund group as identified in the city manager's proposed fiscal year 26 budget message, with the reallocations identified below in the mayor's investment and policy recommendations. A9, motion to add one-time funds of $285,000 in the general fund group in the Health and Human Services Department, offset by a reduction of $285,000 in the Grow Long Beach Loans allocation as a part of the successor agency sale proceeds to continue the Safe Passages program, which empowers local residents to serve as safety guides to observe and report dangerous or hazardous situations and ensure the safety of youth walking to and from school. A10, motion to add one-time funds of $100,000 in the general fund group in the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department, offset by a reduction of $100,000 in the Grow Long Beach Loans allocation as a part of the successor agency sale proceeds to continue strategic policies, partnerships, programmatic interventions year-round to reduce gun violence and improve community safety in alignment with the Strong Beach Initiative. A11, motion to add one-time funds of $50,000 in the general fund group in the city manager department, offset by a reduction of $50,000 in the Grow Long Beach Loans allocation as a part of the successor agency sale proceeds to fund summer block parties and neighborhood activations, a priority of both neighborhood association leaders and violence prevention leaders. A12, motion to add one-time funds of $175,000 in the general fund group in the Health and Human Services Department, offset by a reduction of $175,000 in the Grow Long Beach Loans allocations as a part of the successor agency sale proceeds to bring the total funding for youth power participatory budgeting to $500,000 to support direct investments in the program serving Long Beach youth. A13, motion to add one-time funds of $50,000 in the general fund group in the Health and Human Services Department, offset by the reserve allocations as a part of the successor agency sale proceeds to support youth outreach and administration to manage the Youth Participatory Budgeting Program. An additional one-time funds of $60,000 in the general fund group is recommended for the program for a total of $110,000. A14, motion to add one-time funds of $50,000 in the general fund group in the Economic Development and Opportunity Department, offset by a reduction of $50,000 in the corridor improvements allocation as a part of the successor agency sale proceeds to support a Cambodian economic impact study that will collect current economic data, community surveys, case study interviews, and focus group discussions that will be summarized into a Cambodian economic impact report. A15, motion to add one-time funds of $125,000 in the general fund group in the Economic Development and Opportunity Department, offset by a reduction of $75,000 in the market study implementation and $50,000 in the Walk of Fame allocations as a part of the successor agency sale proceeds to support Know Your Rights trainings to educate local businesses on what to do if law enforcement activities take place at or near their business operations and how to verify the existence of a legitimate court order or judicial warrant. A16, motion to add one-time funds of $25,000 in the general fund group in the Economic Development and Opportunity Department, offset by a reduction of $25,000 in the EIFD planning allocation as a part of the successor agency sale proceeds to fund the production of toolkits, posters, flyers, wallet cards, and other Know Your Rights materials in various languages to be distributed to staff and customers at local establishments, and to fund Safe Place certified business decals that successfully trained businesses can display on their storefronts to highlight this designation and signal that the business is informed of their rights and affirm that the business is welcoming of immigrant communities. A17, motion to add one-time funds of $50,000 in the general fund group in the Economic Development and Opportunity Department, offset by a reduction of $50,000 in the advertising district allocation as a part of the successor agency sale proceeds to study innovative transit opportunities to provide more accessible and sustainable mobility options as Long Beach prepares to serve as a major venue city for the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games. Mayor's investment recommendations funded using other funding and sources include A18, motion to add one-time funds of $50,000 in the Special Advertising and Promotions Fund Group in the City Manager's Department to support additional citywide youth visual arts contests, matching grants for arts marketing projects, sustainability initiatives, expanded equity programming in underserved communities, and arts education in partnership with the Arts Council for Long Beach. A19, motion to add one-time funds of $50,000 in the Special Advertising and Promotions Fund Group in the City Manager's Department to support partnership efforts between Rancho Los Alamitos and Rancho Los Cerritos in collaboration with the Historical Society of Long Beach to plan for exhibits, celebrations, or other activities recognizing the 250-year anniversary of the United States Declaration of Independence. A20, motion to recommend the city manager work to make the one-time funding of $50,000 in the Special Advertising and Promotions Fund Group in the city manager's office for the annual Long Beach Pride Parade structural to provide greater stability and consistency for one of the city's signature gatherings that celebrates the visibility, rights, and contributions of the LGBTQ+ community. A21, motion to request that the Port of Long Beach contribute $10,000 from the Harbor Fund Group to support a public engagement initiative in partnership with sister cities of Long Beach to create a lasting tribute to the city's international connections in a highly accessible civic space such as Long Beach City Hall that celebrates Long Beach's role as an international city and raises public awareness of our global partnerships. A22, motion to request that the Port of Long Beach contribute $200,000 from the Harbor Fund Group each year over the next 3 years to support World Trade Center activities, such as coordinating global trade missions and arranging business development meetings with international investors and business leaders to promote investment opportunities in Long Beach in alignment with this effort. A23, motion to request that the Airport Department contribute $100,000 from the Airport Fund Group for each year over the next 2 years to support World Trade Center activities, such as coordinating global trade missions and arranging business development meetings with international investors and business leaders to promote investment opportunities in Long Beach in alignment with this effort. A24, motion to request that the Port of Long Beach contribute $500,000 from the Harbor Fund Group to establish a temporary tariff emergency relief fund program to be designed and administered by the Economic Development Department, which will provide one-time financial assistance grants to local Long Beach-based businesses and companies that have faced substantial income loss, disruptions to critical business operations or supplies, workforce impacts, or other economic hardships as a result of the volatile federal trade tariff policies that have interrupted supply chains, increased costs for raw materials, and raised prices on consumers. A25, motion to request that the Port of Long Beach contribute $100,000 from the Harbor Fund Group to support the planning and hosting of the United States Conference of Mayors annual meeting taking place at the Long Beach Convention Center in 2026, which will bring more than 400 mayors, investors, and developers from across the country to Long Beach. Mayor's policy recommendations include the following items. A26, motion to fund the mayor's recommendations for County Measure A items and have staff return for appropriation as part of approval of funding agreements with the County of Los Angeles. A27, motion to request the city manager to work with the Long Beach Fire Department to install a temporary restroom and shower trailer accommodation at the Captain David Rosa Regional Training Center as an immediate interim solution to ensure that women recruits and cadre members have safe, sanitary, and private facilities while permanent infrastructure for these critical accommodations is being planned and constructed. This was a key recommendation outlined by the Commission for Women and Girls for fostering a more diverse and inclusive workforce that reflects the community it serves. A28, motion to request the city manager to work with the Long Beach Police Department to explore the feasibility of broadening the department's community policing and engagement capacity to support the increasing number of special events with large crowds leading up to the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games. A29, motion to request that the Long Beach Utilities Department work with the Technology and Innovation Department to explore the feasibility of leveraging new AI technology solutions to monitor underground water infrastructure and better predict leaks and water main failures before they occur. A30, motion to request the city manager to work with the Public Works Department to enact some of the key recommendations outlined in the city auditor's street projects and pavement management performance audit, including establishing communications plans to increase transparency and enhance public trust, and improving project cost estimates to maximize the impact of public funds for street projects. A31, motion to request the city manager to work with the Public Works Department to begin developing the next 5-year capital improvement plan for the city of Long Beach to plan for future infrastructure projects and investments following the conclusion of the existing Elevate 28 infrastructure investment plan in fiscal year 27, with a deep focus on street improvement projects to elevate the city's overall pavement condition index. A32, motion to request City Council to approve a one-time exception to the existing policy for the disposition of proceeds from the sale of former redevelopment agency properties to allow the citywide use of the successor agency sale proceeds to preserve and continue the violence prevention, youth engagement, and economic opportunity initiatives outlined in the mayor's recommendations. A33, motion to request the city manager work with the Economic Development Department work in partnership with local business associations and community-based organizations to establish a new Safe Place business certification program and promote Know Your Rights trainings and information materials. A34, motion to request the city manager to work with city departments, the harbor and utilities departments, and citywide elected offices on developing a plan for a new legal reserve that provides the city attorney's office with the resources needed to defend against legal challenges from the federal administration and engage in proactive litigation to protect Long Beach residents, as well as critical grant funding for city services and infrastructure. A35, motion to request the city manager to implement clear warrant review procedures across all non-public areas within city-owned buildings and properties intended for employee use and business operations in order to affirm the existence of a legitimate law enforcement warrant and limit entry to all non-public areas when no warrant is produced as permitted under state and federal law. A36, motion to request the city manager to introduce visible signage on doors and entryways, clearly demarcating all non-public areas where entry by law enforcement agents is restricted and requires the production of a warrant or judicial order. A37, motion to request the city manager to work to ensure all city staff, including frontline staff in lobbies and reception areas, are trained and have worksite-specific reporting and response protocols in place so that every city worksite can verify the existence of a valid warrant or judicial order. A38, motion to request the city manager to work with every city department and request each to submit preparedness plans to the city manager, reflecting the enactment of these trainings and response protocols to ensure all departments know how to abide by the Long Beach Values Act and respond to law enforcement activities on city properties or facilities. A39, motion to request the city manager to clarify and extend the applicability of the city's existing disciplinary policies and procedures to confirmed violations of the Long Beach Values Act by city employees, including pathways to enforce standard disciplinary consequences such as warnings, suspensions, demotions, or dismissals in order to meaningfully defer potential violations of the Values Act and ensure full compliance with the policy. A40, motion to request the city manager to work with the Office of Equity to develop a formal and centralized resident complaint portal as a new public accountability mechanism where residents can submit an official complaint with evidence if a city employee has violated the Values Act to initiate the appropriate investigations and disciplinary measures. A41, motion to request the city manager to work with all city department heads and general managers to assign at least one immigrant affairs liaison within each department whose focus will be to help report any law enforcement activity by any external agency on city properties or facilities under the department's purview, support department leadership in disseminating educational or training materials, including updated city policies and protocols under the Long Beach Values Act, recommend services or programs within the department that can be leveraged to support families impacted by federal immigration enforcement actions, and support department leadership in identifying and evaluating barriers that immigrant community members may face in accessing department services so that they can be adequately addressed. A42, motion to request that the city attorney draft language to integrate into standard contractual language for relevant city contracts and vendor agreements that requests external vendors to observe the Long Beach Values Act and advises vendors that any documented business practices determined by the city to violate or be in substantial conflict with the Values Act may result in disqualification from future city contract opportunities. These additional safeguards will reinforce compliance with the Long Beach Values Act among the city's contracted vendors and affirm the data privacy interests of Long Beach's immigrant communities and all residents alike. A43, motion to request that the city attorney's office request public records from other jurisdictions regarding the dates and locations of all enforcement activities in Long Beach, including the identities of individuals and reasons they were arrested or detained and associated costs of the enforcement activity. A44, motion to request that the city attorney pursue any appropriate cost recovery measures, including formal reimbursement petitions, administrative claims, and any other legal remedies available to the city where there exists a legal remedy for any property damages, vandalism, interruptions to city programs or services, lost revenues to the city, or other harms reasonably related to an external agency's law enforcement activities or presence on or near city-owned properties. And A45, motion to request the city manager to work with the Economic Development Department to pursue a partnership with Project Equity to provide technical support for succession planning, employee stock ownership, worker cooperatives, employee ownership trusts, and catalyst funds, and other innovative strategies to keep legacy businesses running after original owners plan to exit the business.
All right. Good job, Rebecca. You got through it. Maybe you should alternate a little bit. Nah, you're in the zone. Keep going. Just keep going. All right. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Thank you. Next motion, please.
All right, just to help explain what's going on as we go into the next part of it. So there really are three major parts of the budget. There's the proposed budget that everyone has seen in writing. Then the mayor puts on the recommendations. We just went through all the mayor's items, and so he takes input from everyone and at his stage, and then we get to the BOC recommendations. So now you're going to hear additional changes either to the manager's budget or mayor recommendations, and this is kind of the final part that listens to all the rest of the community input and the council input that's been having, and then the council will deliberate on the entire budget once they hear the budget recommendations.
So we'll
for BOC.
go, council member, do you want to give your comments and then Rebecca read everything?
Yeah, because my comments are going to be pretty brief.
All right, Chair Rixodi.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you everyone for being here. I think it's really a reflection of our city to see so many of you so engaged in our budget process, so thank you so much for being here. As I mentioned earlier at BOC, I just wanted to acknowledge that, over the course of this budget cycle, the City of Long Beach is engaged in two distinct phases of outreach. From the early community engagement meetings in January and February to the most recent community budget meetings in August, residents across the city have shared their input on how taxpayer dollars should be spent. I want to thank every resident who participated in meetings and through the digital comment card to make your priorities known. I think we all know that despite the real challenges that we continue to face, this budget, I believe, remains a true reflection of both the City Council's top priorities and the priorities voiced by our community members, focusing on keeping neighborhoods safe and clean, expanding housing opportunities, caring for those experiencing homelessness, supporting our young people, and investing in a healthier and more sustainable communities. I want to acknowledge and thank the dedicated city staff who have worked tirelessly through this process and supported the work of the Budget Oversight Committee. Again, I want to thank the City Clerk's Office, our Financial Management Department, the City Attorney's Office, the City Manager's Office, as well as my committee colleagues for their thoughtful and engaging comments. And with that, I would like to present the approved Budget Oversight Committee recommendations to you all. Please bear with us and with our budget staff, as these are just as long as the mayor's recommendations. And that being said, I'm going to kick
Longer.
it over
Longer.
Well, arguably also more impactful. So, I will leave.
I'm going to let that ride because I'll appoint the budget chair. I'm going to let that ride. All right. But thank you very much. Listen, now go ahead and proceed with the recommendations. Thank you.
Okay. We have another 45. Motion to support the Budget Oversight Committee's proposed budget recommendations and changes to the mayor's budget recommendations and appropriate the following one-time enhancements or provide policy direction. B1, motion to request the city manager to immediately identify solutions as the top priority to further enhance paramedic rescue response capabilities, in addition to the structural funding identified for Peak Load Rescue 2 on a 12-hour, 7-day-a-week schedule proposed in the city manager's budget, and for those enhancements to begin in the fiscal year 26 budget year and return to city council with the funding sources and implementation plan. B2, motion request the city manager to work with the Health and Human Services Department to identify one-time funds of $318,187,000 within the health fund group for 2 positions, 1 public health nurse 2 and 1 health educator 2 in the Black Infant Health Program to provide bridge funding until July 1, 2026, at which point the city anticipates receiving grant funds that will fully cover the staff. B3, motion to request the city manager to reserve unspent funds for the Dia de los Muertos parade, which will not be held in fiscal year 26, and carry funds over into fiscal year 27 to be utilized for the fiscal year 27 Dia de los Muertos event, which will bring the total funding available in fiscal year 27 to $100,000. B4, motion to keep the current cultivation cannabis tax rate at $13.09 through October 1st, 2026. The cultivation tax rate is subject to an automatic increase on October 1, 2025 per the Consumer Price Index calculator without City Council direction. B5, motion to request a one-time revision to the current council district priority funding fiscal policy relating to special events and filming fundraising efforts for fiscal year 26. Council offices shall be responsible for completing the special events council event form, including obtaining the required signature. On this form, the council office must provide special events and filming with the event budget and the anticipated amount to be raised through the sponsorships to be able to proceed, but a specific council letter or approved project list fund transfer committing district priority funds shall no longer be required prior to event arrangements. However, if the sponsorship goal is not met, the council office will be responsible for covering the remaining balance either from future divide by 9, operating budget, or any other solution. B6, motion to request the city manager to reserve savings identified in the Tidelands Operating Fund Group in the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department, estimated in the amount of $185,000 by fiscal year 25 year end, and carried forward to fiscal year 26 to support 10 municipal band events in the Tidelands area, fully funding the municipal band for fiscal year 26, along with already received sponsorships, with a commitment to dedicated fundraising efforts from council members and municipal band supporters to support funding gaps for all foreseeable future seasons beyond fiscal year 26, and align future events to account for funds secured, which may be at a reduced level if fundraising is not successful. B7, motion to revise the previously approved Marina Vista Park pickleball design and permitting funding of $100,000 from the Tidelands Operating Fund Group to allow the funds to create 1 dedicated pickleball court and 1 dual-striped tennis pickleball court in Marina Vista Park, with the remaining amount to continue to be available for design and permitting for additional new facilities. B8, motion to request the city manager to work with the Health and Human Services Department to prioritize $70,000 funding, if available from the opioid settlement proceeds, to distribute fentanyl detection kits as detailed in the May 21st, 2025 memo to the City Council, and return to City Council to appropriate funds identified if necessary. B9, motion to request the city manager to work with the Economic Development and Opportunity Department to prioritize bid funding support available through the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan to install year-round cameras and lighting to improve public safety in the Zephyria Business Association bid, if in alignment with overall fiscal priorities of the bid's use of funds. B10, motion to request the city manager to work with the Economic Development and Opportunity Department to prioritize bid funding support available through the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan to enhance 4th Street Farmers Market programming and outreach, if in alignment with overall fiscal priorities of the 4th Street Business Improvement Association use of funds. B11, motion to add one-time funds of $50,000 in the Capital Projects Fund Group in the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department, offset by unallocated park impact fees, to further explore the skate park feasibility study to evaluate site conditions, environmental and community impacts, design options, and cost estimates. B12, motion to add one-time funds of $25,000 in the Capital Projects Fund Group in the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department, offset by unallocated park impact fees for focused revisioning and community engagement over the long-term restoration and public access enhancements at Willow Springs Park, which will further open space restoration, public access improvements, and long-term ecological investment at Willow Springs Park. B13, motion to request the city manager to work with the Long Beach Airport Department to continue the subsidized aviation fuel for the environment program. City Council authorized $60,000 for the supplemental type certificate reimbursement program and $200,000 for the unleaded avgas subsidy program. To date, the programs have obligated over $5,000 in STC reimbursements and over $25,000 in subsidies. Both programs sunset at the end of this year, and City Council action is needed to extend them. B14, motion to reallocate the $47,500 from the Grow Long Beach Loans Program line item for Central Long Beach and $25,000 from Cambodian Economic Impact Study in the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan to fund the feasibility and/or implementation of the Micro Entrepreneur and Vending Economic Opportunity Program as outlined in the February 26, 2025 memo responding to City Council direction on this item. B15, motion to add activations to the description for the central area in the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan for corridor improvements. B16, motion to recommend that the Business Support Office program funding in the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan focus its efforts on expanding economic opportunities for micro entrepreneurs, including sidewalk vending, expanding programs and resources that would further assist micro entrepreneurs as discussed in the February 26, 2025 memo. B17, motion to reallocate $50,000 within the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan from the advertising district's program line item to conduct a high-level feasibility study of the costs of refurbishing and upgrading the historical district of Wilmore City lamppost lighting. B18, motion to reallocate $200,000 within the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan towards piloting a temporary deployment of private security services within the designating dining and entertainment zone. Specifically, $100,000 from the Downtown Activation Events Program line item and $100,000 from the Downtown Advertising District's program line item. B19, motion to reallocate $47,000 within the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan from the Grow Long Beach Loans program line item for assessment funding to begin design and interim improvements for the Promenade Square Park fountain. B20, motion to support the use of movies in the park in the downtown area as a priority for the downtown activations and events made available through the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan. B21, motion to reallocate $50,000 within the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan from the market study implementation program line for street safety improvements on Santa Fe Avenue and connecting streets near 23rd Street in Santa Fe, including but not limited to crosswalk repainting, permanent speed feedback signage, improved lighting, and other traffic calming measures recommended by the city traffic engineer. B22, motion to structurally add an assistant administrative analyst position to improve the timeliness of the administration and expenditure of the Justice Fund dollars in the city manager's office, using the structural dollars currently set aside for the Justice Fund as the structural offset. In order to not affect the current recommended amount for the Justice Fund efforts in the proposed budget, add $130,000 in one-time funds in the general fund group in the city manager department for the Justice Fund, offset by one-time reduction in the amount of $130,000 in the general fund group in the Park, Recreation, and Marine Department to recognize savings due to timing of animal care staffing implementation as a result of delayed legal proceedings in the SPCA LA lease termination in the proposed fiscal year 26 budget. This additional $130,000 brings the total investment noted in the fiscal year 26 mayor's budget recommendations to $2.63 million towards supporting the needs of Long Beach's diverse immigrant communities. B23, motion to request the city manager prioritize available operating funding in fiscal year 26 to procure new signage of the Billie Jean King Main Library to inform the public of trespassing ordinances and return to the city council if existing operating budget cannot complete the project. B24, motion to request the city manager to enhance communication and promotion of existing services to provide subsidized parking for Billie Jean King Main Library patrons, which currently is more than 80% subsidy for the first 3 hours. B25, motion to request the city manager to work with the Public Works Department to create an infrastructure investment plan that assesses all Long Beach public libraries that can inform the upcoming update to the 5-year infrastructure plan. B26, motion to add one-time funds in the amount of $160,000 to support the Safe Passage program in the general fund group in the Health and Human Services Department, offset by a one-time reduction in the amount of $160,000 in the general fund group in the Park, Recreation, and Marine Department to recognize savings due to timing of animal care staffing implementation as a result of delayed legal proceedings in the SPCA LA lease termination in the proposed fiscal year 26 budget. B27, motion to reallocate one-time funding of $25,000 for the Long Beach Area Veterans Commission in the mayor's fiscal year 26 budget recommendations to support the Veterans Banner Program in the General Fund Group in the Health and Human Services Department as requested by the Veterans Commission. B28, motion to add one-time funding of $103,000 for the microgrant program in the general fund group in the community development department, offset by reallocating $103,000 from the $133,000 from the mayor's fiscal year 26 summer block parties and neighborhood activities. $20,000 of that is from the Grow Long Beach loans allocation as a part of the successor agency sale proceeds, and $83,000 is of fiscal year 25 anticipated carryover, leaving $30,000 for the summer block parties and neighborhood activations. Further, request the Community Development Department to partner with the Department of Health and Human Services to expand program eligibility to include violence prevention organizations in addition to neighborhood associations so that the program better supports a broader range of community safety and activation efforts. B29, motion to request the city manager to work with the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department to prioritize available operating or capital dollars in the fiscal year 26 funding to repair the HVAC system at the Nature Center and return to the City Council if additional funds are needed. B30, motion to establish requirements surrounding the $200,000 allocated towards Community Land Trust as a part of the Mayor's fiscal year 26 budget recommendations as a result of recognizing the importance of new ways to deliver affordable housing and the work of the Land Trust to date, while also protecting city resources and assuring accountability. The disbursement of the $200,000 is contingent on substantial progress toward acquiring real property for the land to administer, and this progress could include the acquisition, acceptance, bid, offer, RFP response towards property acquisition, and or evidence of matching funds raised as the land demonstrates grants, donations, or other funding from sources other than the city. B31, motion to reallocate up to $300,000 from the County Measure A category of flexible homelessness prevention and rental assistance in the Mayor's fiscal year 26 budget recommendations to the Tenant Right to Counsel program to account for the potential reduced carryover amount now projected to range between 0 to $150,000 instead of $440,000 as previously estimated for the Tenant Right to Counsel, to ensure $1,500,000 is available for the Tenant Right to Counsel program. The full reallocation will be based on a final accounting of actual carryover from LA County for the Tenant Right to Counsel program. B32, motion to request the city manager expressly allow a minimum of $250,000 and up to $500,000 in settlement assistance funding as an allowable use under the County Measure A category of homelessness prevention and rental assistance in the Mayor's fiscal year 26 budget recommendations. Additionally, provide the BOC a report in January 2026 regarding the status of these programs. B33, motion to direct the city manager to evaluate and complete a cost analysis of the Hoops After Dark program within the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department beginning in fiscal year 26 as it is funded as a part of the mayor's recommendations on a one-time basis to explore looking to host the program in-house in fiscal year 27 and beyond. B34, motion to request the Port of Long Beach to contribute one-time funding of $50,000 from the Harbor Fund Group to match the fiscal year 26 budget's one-time funding of $50,000 in the Special Advertising and Promotion Fund Group, providing a total of $100,000 to fund the Long Beach Pride Parade. Of this amount, the city's $50,000 allocation was recommended to be made structural as a part of the fiscal year 26 mayor's recommendations. B35, motion to request the city manager to work with staff to include West Long Beach as a part of the proposed fiscal year 26 budget one-time Assembly Bill 32 funding of $100,000 to support urban forestry tree plantings in priority areas of extreme heat areas and to prioritize Bixby Knolls, California Heights, Lakewood Village, south of Continent to be included in pre-existing unspent funds already allocated to tree planting. B36, motion to request $50,000 from the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan for the public realm program line item to support a match for other funding sources to improve the public realm in Gumbiner Park and allow the park to be secured at night. B37, motion to reallocate one-time funding of $200,000 currently appropriated in the Tidelands Operating Fund Group in the Public Works Department for homelessness response to the City Auditor's Department to complete an audit of the Tidelands Fund. B38, motion to request the city manager to prioritize strengthening the city's general fund group operating reserves and contingency funds to protect core public services and fiscal resilience in the face of potential federal funding reductions and other potential pressures on the city's budget. B39, motion to adopt the updated RDA table reflective of both the mayor's recommendations and BOC recommendations for a total of $8.7 million in the general fund group across various departments in attachment number 1. B40, motion to establish a May 15th deadline for BOC members to submit recommendations regarding BOC agenda topics, with the exception of urgent, unforeseen matters that may arise and need to be added to the agenda at a later time. B41, motion to require community budget meeting feedback results be provided to the BOC and City Council no later than 2 weeks before the proposed budget adoption date. B42, motion for city manager to return with 3 alternative residential street allocation formulas separate from the current and previously used models as laid out in the quantitative analysis provided by Public Works, with the goal of providing a more equitable distribution of baseline street investment citywide while targeting documented pavement deficiencies and higher density areas and traffic volume. B43, motion for community budget survey responses to be disaggregated by council district in reports. B44, motion to set the deadline for City Council budget requests as the second to last BOC meeting, ensuring adequate time to develop final recommendations for City Council. And B45, motion to acknowledge that requests for funding from council districts of various programs have been received and reviewed. At this time, due to the absence of identified funding solutions, these requests cannot be recommended to be incorporated into the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget. The programs listed below remain on file for future consideration, pending availability of resources or alternative funding mechanisms. This motion serves to recognize the value of these initiatives while maintaining fiscal responsibility and transparency in the budgeting process. 1. Carroll Park, repurpose concrete streets to preserve original character. 2. Programming at Bixby, activate parks through expanded programming. 3. Cambodian senior meal program. 4. Feasibility of concrete neighborhood street repairs in Cal Heights Historic District. 5. Wrigley neighborhood banner signage along Pacific Avenue and Willow Street. 6. Expansion of the municipal band in the downtown dining and entertainment zone. As this program is currently not able to sustain funding for its current structure, it is not recommended to expand until the program addresses its budget shortfall first. 7. Care Closet LBC cleanup efforts along Pacific Avenue and in the West Side Industrial Area. The fiscal year 26 budget includes a new contractual services effort to address this need through a competitive process. 8. Maintain funding for West Side Promise Coordinator position. The fiscal year 26 budget includes upgrading a vacant Neighborhood Services Specialist 3 to an Administrative Analyst 2 in the Housing and Neighborhood Services Bureau to coordinate the West Side Promise program. And 9. Funding to support Rancho Los Cerritos and Rancho Los Alamitos. As a part of the mayor's recommendations, $50,000 one-time was added to support partnership efforts. And that's it.
All right. Council member, anything to add after that?
No, again, thank you to my committee colleagues. We're really proud to present these recommendations for your consideration here at council. And like I said, our whole goal is to make sure that my council colleagues as well as the community know that their voices were clearly heard. We heard all of your comments. We heard all the public comment. We received all the emails, and we really did our very best to present to you a set of recommendations that had a lens of equity, that really saw what the needs of the community were, and something that we feel like we can be proud of.
Well, Councilwoman, you did a good job. I appreciate you even acknowledged what you couldn't get to. So people felt heard. So I want to applaud you and Vice Mayor Uranga and Councilmember Allen, the members of the Budget Oversight Committee. Good work. I support all of your recommendations. Next is Vice Mayor Uranga.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I continue, I want to thank you for the comments you made when we opened up this item regarding the Supreme Court and what's happening nationally. It's very important that we reemphasize the fact that we are a city council that is sensitive to the community and we pay attention. I also want to note that the Budget Committee, as mentioned by Councilmember, my chair, Joni, Rick Sodi, that we did listen. No idea was a bad idea. If we couldn't fund it this year, we put it on a tickler list, if you will, a tickler, that we will be looking at those in the future for future funding. So, still alive. Everybody didn't get what they wanted, but it's still alive and still there for future consideration. And I want to thank my colleagues, Rick Sodi and Allen, for working with me, working with the commission, working with the council, working with the budget staff. I think we all did a stellar job in working together. This is what we can do when we work together in cooperation to get a balanced, that's a key word, capital P, capital B, capital A, bolded, underlined, italics. Balanced budget, which I think is for the most important thing. And we know no budget cuts and no layoffs. That is phenomenal that we were able to do this. I can't speak for the future, but I hope that we can keep this team together and working towards the future again. Thank you very much.
Then,
Thank you. Councilmember Duggan? Oh, yes. Oh, okay, great. Councilmember Allen?
Thank you, Mayor. I first of all want to thank you, Mayor, for your budget recommendations. They were very thoughtful, and I'm really appreciative of that. I also I have to also recognize my BOC colleagues. You know, because of Brown Act, I feel like the chair has so much more on her shoulders that she had to bear. And I tell you, when we've had some marathon council meetings lately, and you know we're starting at 1. And so I just really commend you, Vice Mayor Uranga and Chair Rick Sodi, for your work through this process. I'm really proud of you and the recommendations that you that are putting forward. And despite the really challenging year that we've had, I think everyone did a really good job at balancing the needs of the communities. I also really appreciate the financial management committee, because you guys surely worked really hard over the last couple months. So kudos to you. I'm truly grateful for all of your hard work that you put into this process. And I'm proud to support the adoption of these recommendations. I do want to highlight the additional funding that we were able to allocate to Rescue 2, because back in March I brought this to council and we heard from so many of our firefighters that stood in line here, and I can tell you we all were aligned. It seemed like we all were aligned in council for the need for Rescue 2 and expanding that ambulance coverage in downtown and the central Long Beach. That was a much needed investment in public safety. You know, this was going to help our residents get the emergency services they need when every single second counts. So I know our BOC recommendations call for immediately identifying enhancement options, and I think the type of enhancement we're going to need is full-time funding. So I think I speak for a lot of us when I say our residents and our firefighters deserve nothing less. So with that, I just can't thank you enough. And I have to say, for all of you that came out, like Vice Mayor Uranga just said, you were heard. So many of you, your advocacy, both at the BOC and here at council, were very much appreciated. And you can see by where we landed that you were heard. So thank you so much for coming out and taking the time to advocate for things that are so important to our community. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much. All right, next is Councilmember Duggan.
All right, thank you, Mayor. That is a lot of recommendations by both of you, and really well thought out. That takes time. But I want to start off by thanking Council Member Dr. Joni Rixodi. As the BOC chair, I know how much work goes into that for you, and you do a stellar job at looking at the details, digging in, and that all makes a difference. So thank you to you and your committee. I also just want to point out and thank City Manager for their work, the Budget Office, and our city departments for putting together a budget that balances a lot of competing priorities. There is a lot to be excited about in this budget, and specifically for District 3, I'd like to point out some really good things that are moving forward. The Green Belt, our seawalls, we've fully funded the Muni Band, I'm really happy to see some of the work that's going on in the Zaffaria bid with funding cameras. And our Tidelands audit is being funded. I had brought that up a year ago, and it is funded. I know it was disconcerting to some people when this first came about, but we know this is going to be a benefit to the city to look at that Tidelands audit. And finally, we're also using some money to resurface Marina Vista Park to create dedicated pickleball courts. And pickleball is popular. We all need our mental health breaks, and this adds to some of our outdoor activities. And I understand this year's budget is impacted. I didn't have many asks, but I do have one ask in the budget process. Can we bring back recommendation B42 on the BOC recommendations? I'd like to bring it back to council for full discussion instead of approving it through the budget process. There was a lot of discussion, community input, and compromise that went into our current allocation of street dollars, and I think that changing the way we allocate money for street repairs deserves its own discussion. We don't have a lot of street repair dollars to be out from my residents. You'll see metaphorical torches and pitchforks if we take away money from repaving streets. So for an informed discussion, I'd like to understand the current problem with the way we divide street repair dollars, and what we are trying to fix with these three options that staff is bringing back. We have over $1 billion in street repair backlog, so every neighborhood is feeling like they aren't getting their fair share of road improvements. I'd also like to better understand, if we can get this back to council, what a more equitable distribution of baseline street investments means and what metrics can be used to achieve it. I know that targeting streets that need repair is the right thing, but I don't know if higher density areas with high traffic volume means a more equitable distribution. So I'd really like to have further discussion with more input. I know I have a lot of dense neighborhoods in my district with a lot of coastal traffic in Belmont Shore and Naples that could benefit, and areas like the traffic circle. But I think we should be systematic about this because it's a top issue for so many residents, and there hasn't been an identified problem with our system except that people want more of their streets repaved. So thank you very much.
Can I respond to that? So just to clarify, the current recommendation does not change anything about our current allocation related to how we fund our streets. What it's asking for is for city staff to return back with some alternatives on how we might potentially achieve what I consider to be, or I'm thinking is an equitable distribution that may result in us not making any changes at all. I was like, but the intention is for us to direct staff to go back, look at this, and then come back to city council, and then for us to have an open discussion around it. So know that the recommendation I'm making in the BOC does not change anything about our current allocation, and does exactly what you are asking for, Councilmember Duggan, is for us to have the conversation.
Thank you very much.
Good, thank you. Next, Councilmember Thrashin Took.
All right, thank you very much. So I too want to extend my heartfelt appreciation to our city staff, the city manager and the team, and the financial management team, and all of Oh yeah. All right, well, thank you so much. Oh, now they're both on. Thank you so much. So, all right, here we go. So I want to thank all of the city departments. I was leading off with the financial management team, and certainly all of our department heads for their thoughtful presentation of their budgets, and they were able to come forth. Mayor, I want to thank you for kicking off our budget season, for your budget that you put forth, and to our BOC committee, including our chair, Vice Mayor Uranga, as well as Councilwoman Allen, for your leadership in all of the many activities that took place to ensure that you kept the community in mind, as well as our city priorities and the activities that we need to do going forward. I do want to take the time to really thank our budget chair, Councilwoman Rix Odie, for her highly impactful leadership on this committee. The diligent work of the entire committee and thoughtfulness of your recommendations is reflected in what we've seen here. And this being my very first time going through this budget process, I want to thank all of the city staff as well as the Budget Oversight Committee, including its chair, for your one-on-one support in getting through this cycle. I want you to know that your efforts are highly appreciated and deeply valued, and I believe that that is evidenced by all of the many individuals who have come out to support the budget process over an extended period of time, and who I believe see their priorities reflected in this budget based on the applause and the attention here this evening. I just want to make a couple comments in terms of the opportunity to be able to lift up a few items that are really important to my office. I really appreciate the ability to continue to allocate resources to support the bridge financing needs of the Black Infant Health Program. I want to thank the leaders here as well for their support of the Right to Counsel funding that was received. And I want to acknowledge that while we were able to get some resources, I do look forward to additional conversations about how we continue to expand resources for innovative housing solutions, specifically around the Community Land Trust. And with that, the chair of the Budget Oversight Committee, I just say congratulations. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Councilmember Carr.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to start by thanking all of you who have engaged with us over the course of the last 9 months. That I know when we talk about budget in January, it seems so early, and we're like, it seems really early. But you've continued to be involved with us in the process by your presence here at community meetings, by your emails, filling out surveys. So for everyone who participated in the process, thank you for doing so. It really matters, and I hope you see your voice reflected. Maybe not exactly the way you had hoped, but at least see somewhere where your voice was reflected in the work that came out. And I want to thank the budget team and the city team for the work they did to facilitate that engagement. We know that community engagement doesn't happen naturally sometimes. For some people, that it really takes a thoughtful process to engage people. So I thank you for refining that each and every year so that we reach the most number of people possible. And to the team and financial management, thank you and kudos. And I hope you have some hot tea over there for all of your talking that you're doing. I want to thank the Budget Oversight Committee and my colleagues for their careful and thoughtful considerations of the various requests and suggestions from myself and colleagues, city departments, and our community. We know it's a complicated balancing act to keep it functional and fair and fiscally responsible, and to reflect our values as a city. And we know that always our needs outweigh our resources, and so I appreciate the collaboration and compromise that was brought to the table. I want to thank you for supporting 4 of my 5 recommendations that align with our city goals of improving health, safety, and quality of life, including further investments into Willow Springs Park, feasibility of a skate park at Hartwell Park, which is really important to our youth. I'm also grateful for the continuation of the unleaded aviation fuel subsidy program. It's unlike anything across the country. We were the first city to do it, and we know that it's hugely important that we are making local strides as we continue to push our federal partners to move faster, which goes hand in hand with the additional dollars for urban forestry. We know that certain communities are disproportionately impacted by leaded fuel and general aviation, and working on our urban forestry can help mitigate some of those impacts. So I thank you for seeing the health needs involved for folks in that area. And we know that supporting our residents is critical while we advocate for as fast as possible for a transition at the federal level to unleaded general aviation fuel. And I want to thank you for acknowledging the things we couldn't get to. And so we know Cal Heights Historic District, their concrete streets are important to them. And so we've had conversations. So acknowledging that there's work to do is really important. And I look forward to working with the community and our new Public Works Director when that person takes that role to really have a thoughtful conversation about what that could look like of shared responsibility in that. So I only had a couple of questions. Thank you, Councilmember Duggan, for clarifying item B42. looking for alternative residential street allocation formulas. This is something that's really critical to our district, as the district that has the most number of streets and the most number of streets in poor and very poor condition. It's a critical conversation that I think needs to be really thoughtfully engaged in. So thank you for the clarification, Councilwoman Duggan. I did have a question. We know that we switch up the budgets when we don't anticipate dollars being used for one thing this year, but maybe in the future. We know really important changes were made and necessary additions to our justice work. And it is noted that that's coming from because of delayed litigation with SPCALA. So just on behalf of, we know the needs of SPCLA and our animal care services are going to come into effect at some point. Can we talk about what those, Mr. City Manager, when those dollars are there, how can we make sure that we're attending to those critical needs that we had already identified previously?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we did in this budget is because of some of our litigation right now that is expected with SPCLA, that's been public about that and where we are, is if and when that is successful, the city will need to to basically expand its operations and be able to take care of the animals that are there. And so we had set aside in the city manager's proposed budget some structural dollars to be able to meet that obligation. But we are in a court proceeding. It is going to take some time. It will take at least 6 months. It could take longer than that to be able to get in front of a resolution or in front of a judge on this. So the motions that are in front of you today aren't impacting animal health. They aren't taking from any existing animal operations, but they're recognizing that for every month that goes by that we're not engaging in that work, there are some one-time dollars available.
Great, thank you. That's all I have.
Councilmember Sorrow.
Thank you, Mayor. So I obviously want to also add my gratitude to our amazing staff who hears all of the public comments, council member and other department staff. They have to really take all of this feedback to make sure they report back. And so I want to congratulate Rebecca. This is her first budget. I think that she's second. Is it second? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought it was the first one. It comes together. But congratulations to the team and the staff, and also want to give my kudos to Councilwoman Dr. Rix Odie here for her leadership on the BOC, as well as Vice Mayor Uranga and Councilwoman Allen. It's really a committee I call the Fast and Furious. It starts out really slow and it goes really fast, right? And I think you all are part of the ride. Really appreciate all of you, all the residents, organizer, advocates for being here to voice the needs of the constituent and residents that, as well as variety of people that you work with on a day-to-day basis, your families and your friends as well. And that is really important because I think that, many years ago, there wasn't this much engagement, and I really appreciate the process to continually make sure that all of you are being heard, as well as us, as well as council members, to be able to have a process to put forward a feedback so that we're, given several opportunities to make sure that priorities and needs are being included in the budget, and it's reflective of that. I wanted to just raise that, it's great that the mayor has kicked off the budget with his priorities and setting what's important, as well as city managers, so then we're able to continue to add to that and help shape it through this process. And I think that it's a challenging time, as we heard on the dais today. There's a lot of need, and the need grows, and it's great, and that we, I want to make sure you all know that we hear your, we read your letters, your emails, and it's just a process that we all go through to figuring out what's going to make the most sense. And sometimes it's not even more dollars. It's actually about how do we be more efficient with the dollars we have, and the structure and the process and the operation. And so I think that we've had a lot of great conversations. We had many late night meetings. And I think it also demonstrates how serious we are to be able to, ask these questions and really go through all of these detailed process, because it shows that we don't take this lightly at all. We know they're valuable tax dollar funds that needs to serve our community and the city that we all love. So just again, wanted to lift up a few things that a priority that for District 6 or Central in general on an item that, you know, we have been talking through the process of how to make sidewalk vending legal, right? We've talked about, well, we know that most of the people who are vending are immigrants. And at this time more than ever, it's been a challenge to figure out, well, how do we do things that are because of out of safety? And that's why I'm proud that we're gonna be, for the item on B14 in developing, it's not a fancy name, but it's straightforward. It's a micro entrepreneur and vending economic opportunity program. An item was put forward to do a plan, and we have this plan because in the end of the day, we know in Central Long Beach, people are gonna keep vending. This is one of the very few means for immigrants, people who have little to no capital are able to continue to survive. You know, just driving through my district in Central, people pop up in vacant lots anyway. They're vending, they're doing business, but I think that we need to say, hey, let's figure out a process to support all of the micro entrepreneurs doing business in a way where we can prepare for the opportunity that comes, obviously the Olympics, but beyond as well, because that's, you know, I think a need that's not, I think, been invested in, and I think that that's important we start somewhere on that. So obviously very grateful for investment in all of the things that we have prioritized in this, you know, budget this year, and want to just thank everyone again for all of the work and congratulations.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Zendejas?
Thank you so much. First, City Manager Tom, staff for all your hard work, Mayor for your budget recommendations, and of course the BOC Committee for your incredible and very hard work that goes into putting our budget process together, especially during a year that is without a doubt one of the hardest fiscal years that we've faced yet. The proposed budget has taken so much into consideration and has presented a balanced budget. But I do want to say that my biggest thanks goes to our community members, our organizations that have done an incredible job of providing safe spaces for our community to learn about the impact of our budget on all of our residents' lives, and also that have been able to teach them the importance of being engaged with the budget and coming to city council meeting and seeing the importance and really seeing firsthand the true impact that the comments and the engagement from the community has on the direction of our entire city budget. So thank you again to all our community organizations for providing that space, that education. So yes, give yourselves a hand. You guys deserve that. Yes, absolutely. Proposing and approving a budget allows us to plan and invest in the type of city we want for Long Beach families. As has seen and it has been said, our budget reflects our values, what we stand for, and how we choose to move forward. I want to take a moment to commend our city's leadership in listening to our community needs, and especially in standing up for immigrant rights and for choosing to move forward in solidarity with our most targeted communities, especially today. I see a lot of much needed investment also going into the downtown area. And as the representative of the downtown area, I want to say thank you. And I also want to remind everyone that the downtown is a reflection of all our city, and I want all of us to take ownership of the downtown, because really the downtown belongs to the entire city. So thank you for all of the investments that are going on there. I also want to thank you for just the investment into the Justice Fund, that's been a passion of mine for many, many years. And I strongly and firmly support the allocation of the dollars that have been given to the Justice Fund, the Rapid Response Team, and also to establish safe space business certification program for all of our businesses. We stand strong here in Long Beach, and we stand together. Thank you so much, Chair Joni Ricks Odie, and my colleagues, Councilmember Allen and Vice Mayor Uranga, for your leadership on the Budget Oversight Committee, because I know that that is not an easy task. And yet you have proposed such a well-balanced budget. The BOC is an additional tool for us as a city to allocate more time for the community engagement and for discussion and further analysis of the proposed budget. I submitted several recommendations to the BOC committee to prioritize downtown and library investments. I am pleased to see that those have been taken into consideration and creatively implemented. Regarding the downtown investments, I did make one change to my memo, and I wanted to confirm, after working with our development partners on the Armory, we have a plug of $75,000 to help go towards an iron fence for Gunbinder Park, one of the 4 priority focused areas for the city's homelessness efforts. I would like to ask if staff could include funding for this from the wayfinding and public realm line item from the successor agency properties, proceeding specific to the downtown area.
Yes, so
Or if
that
you could
is
speak on
one
that.
of the items that is in the BOC recommendation. So there has been taking from the public realm account, that wayfinding public realm, about $50,000. So we understand between the Armory investing, some divide by 9 that you'd be putting up, and $50,000 there, that'll get us to what we believe is very close to the estimate to move forward with that project.
Thank you, John.
All right. Well, I want to thank the council members for their comments. That was our final comment. Members, please cast your vote to adopt the BOC recommendations.
Motion is carried.
All right, thank you. We are not done yet. A whole lot more voting to do. Next motion, please.
Recommendation to adopt the expenditures and revenues as identified in the proposed FY26 budget as amended.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Next motion, please.
Recommendation to adopt a resolution amending the master fees and charges schedule for specified city services for citywide fees and charges for the city of Long Beach.
Moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Next motion.
Recommendation to approve the fiscal year 26 one-year capital improvement program.
Moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Next motion.
Recommendation to declare ordinance amending the departmental organization ordinance read the first time and later for the next regular meeting of the City Council for final reading.
Moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Next. Is that it?
No,
Okay,
there's a
keep
handful
going.
more. Yep. Recommendation to adopt the amended salary resolution for fiscal year 26.
Moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Next motion, please.
Recommendation to adopt resolution approving the fiscal year 26 budget for the Long Beach Harbor Department as adopted by the Board of Harbor Commissioners on June 23rd, 2025.
Moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Next motion, please.
Recommendation to adopt a resolution approving resolutions of the Long Beach Public Utilities Commissioners fixing rates and charges for water and sewer to all customers, and a resolution correcting Scrivener's errors in fixing rates and charges for water and sewer services to all customers.
Moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Next motion, please.
Recommendation to adopt a resolution approving the fiscal year 26 budget of the Long Beach Public Utilities Department as adopted by the Board of Public Utilities Commissioners on June 17th, 2025.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Next motion, please.
Recommendation to adopt a motion approving the fiscal year 26 budget for the Long Beach Community Investment Company in the amount of $6,109,655.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Next motion, please.
Recommendation to adopt a motion approving the estimated transfer of $25,304,986 from the Harbor Fund Group to the Tidelands Operation Fund.
Tidelands transfer. Thanks to the port. Keep going. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Next motion, please.
Recommendation to adopt a resolution establishing the GAN appropriation limit for fiscal year 26.
Moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
Okay, these next two, are these the ones we have to go back and calculate? So we don't do these next, right? These final two, Rebecca?
Yeah, because there were no changes, I think we can move forward and we'll just file and record everything.
Fantastic. That's the first time that has ever happened in the 16 budgets I've worked on. All right. Fantastic. We are about to adopt this thing now. Moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote. Oh, call it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Recommendation to declare an emergency to exist for the appropriations ordinance for fiscal year 26, creating and establishing the fund group of the municipal government and appropriating money to and authorizing expenditures from said funds for said fiscal year.
Moved and seconded. Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
All right, and our final vote.
And this item requires 2 votes. Recommendation to declare the appropriations ordinance for fiscal year 26, creating and establishing the fund groups of the municipal government and appropriating money to and authorizing expenditures from said funds, and for said fiscal year as an emergency ordinance, read and adopted as read and laid over the next regular meeting of the City Council for final reading.
Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
And there's a second one, right?
Correct.
Okay. We need a motion and a second. Okay. Members, please cast your vote.
Councilwoman Kerr?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Motion is carried. We are done.
All right. And that's a budget. All right. Well, thank you all for your participation. That's our budget process for the year. Next week, we'll do one more ordinance reading, but that's it. So it goes into effect October 1, and we have a lot of work to do. But thank you for your participation. Good work, everyone. All right. We're going to power through these last 4 or 5 items.
I'm sorry. Ma'am, the meeting's not over?
Here's the
Let's go. I'm with you. I'll take him out to lunch tomorrow. Make it up to him.
So to know and him share a birthday, how cute is that?
All right, item 16, please.
Report from Economic Development. Recommendation to adopt specifications and award contracts to Continental Acquisition Services, Epic Land Solutions, Inner West Consulting Group, and Overland Pacific and Cutler for as-needed real property acquisition, relocation, and related services in a total aggregate amount not to exceed $3 million citywide.
Thank you. Is there public comment? Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
All right, 17, please.
Report from Economic Development, recommendation to adopt specifications and award contracts to various contractors for as-needed real estate economic analysis professional services in a total aggregate amount not to exceed $1,500,000 citywide.
And is there public comment? Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
18.
Report from Economic Development, recommendation to execute an agreement and all necessary documents with the State of California Employment Development Department to accept and expend Program Year 2025-2026 Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act grant funding in an amount up to $5,735,200 to implement workforce training programs and strategies citywide.
Is there any public comment?
No
Members,
public
please
comment.
cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
19.
Report from Parks, Recreation, and Marine. Recommendation to execute agreements and all necessary documents with the Long Beach Unified School District for the operation of the after-school education and safety program at Burbank, Edison, Garfield, Grant, Herrera, King, and Lafayette Elementary School sites in an amount not to exceed $1,288,355 and authorize a 15% in-kind match of $193,254, Districts 1, 2, 7, and 9.
We are back to school. Is there any public comment?
No.
Members, please cast your vote.
Councilwoman Thrash-Entook. Motion is carried.
Next motion, next item, 20.
Report from Parks, Recreation, and Marine, recommendation to execute agreements and all necessary documents with the Long Beach Unified School District for the operation of the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program at Burbank, Edison, Garfield, Grant, Herrera, King, and Lafayette Elementary School sites in an amount not to exceed $2,466,470, Districts 1, 2, 7, and 9.
All right, good stuff. Back to school. Motion is moved and second. Any public comment?
No.
Members, please cast your vote.
Motion is carried.
21.
Report from Parks, Recreation, and Marine and Public Works, recommendation to accept and expend grant funding from the California Department of Parks and Recreation for capital improvements at Hudson Park and enter into any agreements and amendments related thereto in an amount not to exceed $2 million, District 7.
All right, congrats, District 7. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any public comment?
No.
Members, please cast your vote. More money for Hudson.
Motion is carried.
Great. We'll now go to general public comment number 2. Let's see. I see 3 people signed up to speak. Is Lourdes Dixon here? Is Deborah Betance here? Is Carcy Mendoza here? All right, seeing none, we'll now go to closing comments and adjournment. I'm going to go to Vice Mayor Uranga.
Thank you, Mayor, and congratulations on another successful budget. Tonight, I want to end tonight's meeting with a memorial to a former colleague of mine, employee, Deborah McCluster. Debbie, as everybody would call her, worked for me in the recruitment division from 1992 to 2000. She was lively, very congenial, very personable, and it was very sad to hear that she passed away last week. She was a 35-year plus employee of the city, so she was a family member. She was born on January 30th, 1962, and passed this past August 20th. Her memorial services will be held on September 21st at Forest Lawn in Cypress. And I just want to wish her Godspeed. I want to invite the public to the grand opening of the Silverado Park Playground on Friday, September 12th, beginning at 12 p.m. and also to the West Side Fest this Saturday, September 13th, at Admiral K Park from 12 to 5. Please come out and enjoy free music, giveaways, and community services. Hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Kerr.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. There are tons of ways to get out and connect with your CD5 community this weekend. You can start off your weekend supporting local vendors at Long Beach Exchange with one or both of their pop-up markets. So Friday night, they have their Friday night market from 5 to 9 p.m. And then Saturday, the 13th, they have their pup parade from 3 to 8. Additionally, Saturday afternoon, you can support local shops and businesses at the monthly Parkview Village Second Saturday's block party from 11 to 3. After that, you can cruise over to Rancho Los Cerritos for their 9th annual craft beer LB Fest, taking place from 1 to 5 p.m. to learn about the local craft beer scene while touring the beautiful historic Rancho grounds. For more information and tickets, you can get them at craftbeerlbfest.com. I know one of our deputy mayors has participated in the Craft Beer Fest as a participant. I don't know if Mr. Locke is doing that again this year, but maybe he is. Go check it out. And you can finish the night at the Expo Arts Center in Jazz in the Candlelight from 6 to 7 p.m. featuring Grammy-nominated musician Billy Moeller. Lastly, you can finish the weekend strong at Ambitious Ales as they collaborate with Kubo Long Beach and Bel Canto Books for a boozy book fair. So for all of you adult book fair fans, go to Ambitious Ales Sunday, September 14th from 12 to 4. Enjoy a beer and buy some books. Have a good weekend.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Zendejas.
I'd like to invite everyone to our 5th annual Skate Jam Turn-Up and Shoe Giveaway with Dreams into Golds, partnering up with my office this Saturday, next Saturday, September 20th, starting at 10 a.m. at Lincoln Park. Also, my annual Council District 1 Port Tour will be on Thursday, September 25th. RSVPs are required, so please reach out to my office if you would like to join us. Craftsman's Village Historic District Neighborhood Cleanup will be on Saturday, September 13th at 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. at 1245 East 9th Street. Lastly, I want to invite you to celebrate Latino Restaurant Week in the city of Long Beach, happening from September 22nd through September 28th. You want to make sure that you get to taste all the extraordinary Latino specials that will be had at all of the participating Latino restaurants in the in the city of Long Beach. Thank you. See you all in the community.
Thank you, Councilmember Rixote.
I was going to say to Councilmember Kerr, I'm particularly interested in that boozy book fair. We'll have to talk about that later. It sounds fun. Thank you to everyone who participated in the fiscal year 2026 budget process. From attending budget oversight committee meetings and delivering public comment, your voices have been central to every step of the way. I have 3 announcements. So first is I would like to invite everybody out to our Port of Long Beach Green Port Tour on Thursday, September 11th. So this Thursday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. The event will feature an informative boat tour highlighting the Port of Long Beach's innovative green initiatives and sustainability efforts. The tour will depart from the Harbor Breezes Cruises Dock number 2 at 100 Aquarium Way. Additionally, I'd like to invite everybody out to attend the DeForest Park Neighborhood Association Teen Summit on Saturday, September 13th from 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. This event will provide high school students with valuable resources, information, and inspiration to pursue higher education and prepare for the workforce. The Teen Summit will take place at the Michelle Obama Library at 5870 Atlantic Avenue. And lastly, I invite everybody out to attend the Council District 9 LEAD Uptown Academy. LEAD stands for Learn, Empower, Advocate, and Develop. This will be held on Saturday, October 4th from 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. This event is designed to empower community members by offering resources, insights, and tools to become effective advocates for their neighborhoods. The event will be held at Houghton Park, located at 6301 Myrtle Avenue. For more information on any of these events, please contact our office at 562-570-6137 or district9@longbeach.gov. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Thrashin Took.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I'm so excited to announce that this past weekend we welcomed a new business to the 8th District. Headliners Times Pretty Please. It's a barbershop and salon studio. Their grand opening was a wonderful celebration. I appreciated the invitation to join them. I encourage everyone to stop by, tour the space, and experience a welcoming and relaxing environment. Look it up, Headliners Times Pretty Please. Now, looking ahead this weekend, this Saturday, September 13th, the birthday celebrations will continue, but I'll be in service to community. It's shaping up to be a busy and fun day. Things kick off at the Ridgewood Triangles Neighborhood Association cleanup at 8:30 a.m. at 4555 Orange Avenue. Later that morning, we'll be stopping by the North Village Association, where they'll be holding their regular neighborhood meeting at Black Green Coffee in the 8th District. Both events are wonderful opportunities to connect with neighbors and strengthen community. Following that, LBUSD will be hosting the Center of Black Excellence, and it will have its Welcome Back Festival at Lindbergh Middle School. That'll be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. This event will feature activities, food, entertainment, and resources for families, all in celebration of the new school year. This is a brand new space and a great way for the community to learn what the center has to offer. There's more. I hope you'll join me at the Pulse of the People, one of North Long Beach's signature events. It'll run from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the North Point and Seaport Villages and promises a wonderful mix of live music, dynamic performances, competitions, and community connection. And to wrap up the day, I look forward to co-hosting Bust Fest Long Beach 2025. This is a free, family-friendly community celebration that'll be celebrating public transit. Again, it'll be happening. All of this is Saturday, September 13th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Granada Beach near not too far from here. All attendees will have a chance to visit information booths, look at bus equipment, enjoy giveaways, and utilize the provided bike valet and fix-it station. I look forward to seeing you out in the community this weekend.
All right. What's it called again, the festival?
Bus Fest Long Beach 2025.
Bus Fest. Got it. All right. I hadn't heard of that before. Councilmember Sorrow.
Thank you. So, kicking off Hispanic or Latino Heritage Month, Latinos in Action is hosting Celebración de la Herencia Hispana y Feria de Recoso. So it's a celebration of Hispanic heritage and a resource fair at Peace Park this Saturday, September 13th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Peace Park, if you didn't know where it is, it's 1411 Atlantic Avenue. So see you there on Saturday celebrating Hispanic Latino Heritage Month.
All right. Next, Councilmember Allen.
Yes, I'd like to invite the city out to their local restaurant, pub, bar, wherever you like to watch football. Monday night football, and the Raiders plan on beating the Chargers. Go Raiders.
All right, it's that time of the year again. And then we're going to go to Councilmember Supernaw to close us out.
Let me try that again. Thank you, Mayor Richardson. I'd like to close tonight's meeting in memory of our former city attorney, Robert Bob Shannon. Bob devoted nearly 4 decades to serving Long Beach, guiding the city with steady leadership as both assistant city attorney and later as our elected city attorney from 1998 to 2013. After his retirement, he continued to step up when called upon, contributing to his experience and judgment on the Water Commission and later helping to establish the Utilities Commission. I'd also like to add that he was a Meals on Wheels volunteer and since 2022 a 4th District resident. He was admired for his sharp intellect, strong principles, and unwavering dedication to good governance. Bob's legacy of service and commitment to Long Beach will endure. He will be greatly missed. Thank you.
All right, well, that concludes our council comments and announcements. Thanks so much for joining us. This meeting is now adjourned. At 8:15, back to early council meetings again.
Are we gonna sing? Wait, are we gonna
And
sing
happy
Councilmember?
birthday, Councilwoman.
Are we gonna sing Councilmember Threshton took happy birthday?
Yes.
We're not going to sing it.
Happy birthday
Yes, we are gonna
to
sing
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Councilwoman coming in Tanua. Happy birthday to you.
Ditto.
Thank you all. Thank you.
All right.
Since you're celebrating. Yeah, I think I saw your questions, but now you know that it's usually just general comments. But I think they were good. I mean,